the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the quarters and semi-finals tonight of NSE Rocket League, brought to you here on Rocket Kingdom by myself, Princey, and none other than Drumzors, of course.
Good
My
evening,
partner in crime.
It's a second day on the trot now.
Yeah, I know we're doing pretty well, and I think, to be fair, a lot of these teams we saw last night, or they competed in last night's EURC.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a big game. Do you want to tell us? I mean, people can see on screen who will be playing, but
this is probably the most even matchup out of the top six in the championship bracket. Both teams finished absolutely neck and neck as 4th and 5th seeds, both with 22 points during National League play this season. And I think they've got they should have some quite entertaining play styles. I think it's going to be quite a tactical match to get behind. Obviously, we have Warwick, just excellent team play, good cohesion. Warwick being Alice, Gopher, and Walden. And up against University of West England Sea Stags. That is Sebadam, Jordan, and Incognito. Sebadam, the biggest name in the league, I think. Well, him and Tylacto being the big two. And they've had some pretty turbulent times this season, but recently they've really been showing up.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams have been on a great run recently coming towards the end. Warwick just seems to have gone from strength to strength, still playing the same defensive style we know them for. But UWE Stags, they finally seem to have got their strength in the offense going together, and they've just looked more and more like a unit, and they've had less and less off days, which has plagued them slightly in previous matches.
Yeah, I think it's going to be coming down to who could warm up the fastest in this game, because we are playing best of sevens, so slightly longer than the usual best of fives. Doesn't leave much more room for error, but it's an extra couple of games. So I think if you can get up there quick and get a couple of games in early, that's going to be the key.
It will. And, these players, they've been waiting a little while, so we thought we'd give them the benefit of the doubt and get this game one underway. I mean, both these teams were 22 points at the end of the season, 4th and 5th, but basically nothing to tie them. However, they've not matched up against each other, so it'll be interesting to see which playstyle will rule, the defensive Warwick or the offensive UWE.
Yeah. What would you go for predictions?
I think 4-2 to the University of West England will have to be on mine. I think this, although we see with the statistics, Walden having the most saves so far in the season and Gopher being the third, just showcasing their crazy defensive powerhouse. They're sort of a bit one-directional where they can only defend and counter. They don't have that playstyle switch-up, and I think that will cost them.
I have to agree with you on the prediction. I think the only reason West England is down this low is because they had a shaky week 1 in the season. Every other week they've been pretty consistently high. But Warwick, pretty good chance for a counter-attack there. Incognito shuts down the double tap. Will be cleared back into the Warwick half. University of West England started off with the majority of the pressure so far this game. I think they might... That's kind of what we expect, though, with Warwick being as defensive as they are.
Yeah, they've just got to make sure that they don't get frustrated, but Walden starts off amazingly there. What a brilliant touch. Just slips that one off the underside of his car, right over Severdam's head. That barely touches him. It's beautiful.
What a goal. That is what is known as an aerial underdoink. And if it isn't, then I'm calling it that from now on.
I think that is the first time I've ever heard that, but I am down. That sounds like some pretty good terminology.
That was an amazing shot. And contrary to both our predictions, Warwick have got a goal up in game 1.
Hopefully it's a sign of things to come, of the level of Rocket League we will be seeing here as well.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that Warwick can do, it's hold out. We were talking with Scenarius before the game, gave us a couple of stats that Walden, in the entirety of the NSE, is the #1 saver, the #1 goalkeeper in the league. And in number 3 in that stat is his teammate Gopher. So, definitely the most reliable team in front of net, their own net, that is.
Yeah, but on the same hand, you have UWE, who have they've, I think, let the second least amount of shots out of any team on their net. And that's just because of the amount of pressure that they put on their opponents. Right now, halfway through the game, it's looking pretty in favour of Warwick, I must say. There's not been too many opportunities that have really scared them. And that might just be the team, Warwick, being a bit more savvy to this sort of environment. They've been, well, Alice and Walden teamed for 3 seasons now together. The 3 years even, I think.
Yeah, 6
and
seasons.
6 seasons, and they've always made top 6. So those two know exactly what this is like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and speaking of, they pick up a fortunate one here. Severdam just wheels it, and I don't really know.
I think he tried to get the power hit off the corner of the car, but just left it a tiny bit too late. His front wheels caught the ball, and he just flopped away from it. Rare mistake from Severdam. I think he's going to be looking to quickly rectify that. But yeah, 2 shots for Warwick, 2 goals.
Scary thought, because as we've been saying, the Warwick team, they are perfect at getting their opponents fed up at not being able to score, and Walden will pick up his hat-trick here in game 1. Go for a lovely smack off the curve, dropping that one down in net. No one there to block it. Severdam seems to be caught out once again. Just not quite getting his positioning right. And maybe, you know, those off days haven't yet run away from UWE. We might be seeing one right here, but
what a tap.
Gotta hope not. There is a lot of Rocket League to play still.
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, it's game 1. Nobody's quite warmed up yet, or warmed up as much as they could be. And like we say, Warwick just has that natural team chemistry that they've built up over the course of many seasons together. So I would expect University of West England to pull back and gain some more momentum in the next couple of games, but for the time being, Warwick are just all over them in this series, in this game.
Yeah, it's interesting because Warwick had a chance last night to run through the lower brackets to get into the top 8 of EURC after UWE had already cemented their place in the top 8 last week. So they had a bye, and maybe, you know, being 3-0'd by Hamburg as Warwick were last night in pretty convincing fashion, maybe felt a little hard done by, and now they're trying to show up and show off here. And on the other end, maybe, you know, University of West England were like, okay, these guys shouldn't be much trouble for us, and now they're being shown otherwise.
Well, 10 seconds left on the clock, 3 goals the difference. It's been a pretty convincing showing from Warwick, and in particular from Walden. All 3 of the goals, hat-trick in game 1 for him. And as the ball hits the floor, GG's.
GG. Well, no, GG.
Well, singular
not
G.
G-
Yeah.
yeah.
There was multiple GG's.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think Sea Stags were just caught out by a bit more pressure than probably what they expect from Warwick, knowing how they play. They put up basically the same amount of shots, and yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit worrying for UW, but it is only game 1. There is anywhere between three more games to 6 more games that can still be played. That is a lot of Rocket League still to go. People in chat, I can see they're already believing the sweep will happen. Some think it's going the full way. We're yet to see, but one thing we do know is UWE Sea Stags will need to up the tempo.
Oh yeah, because I mean, if there's one thing they have going for them, it's speed. I think once they get some momentum going, they are just roaringly fast. Sebadam, in particular, I think he needs to step up the carrying a little bit. Bottom of the leaderboard for his team that game. I think he just needs to warm up a little bit more. And we know that, starting a little bit later than usual, he may not have been keeping as warm in free play as such that he could be, but that goes for everyone, I think.
Yeah, and just something on probably the star players for these 2 teams, Walden and Sebadam. Walden is the #1 boost burner as such in NSE this season. He has used the most boost out of any player in the National Students Esports Rocket League scene. And then just behind him, you have Sebadam. So these 2 guys are going to be fighting all over the field to pick up the boost, to keep their speed going.
Well, that was a good chance there for Incognito. Was gifted a free shot, but just sent it wide. Walden's going to tap that over to Gopher on the corner. Gets it around Incognito as well. Just Sebadam at the back. But he's put it up high. He's got the boost. Has the flick. That's Gopher out of position. Just Alice to deal with. It's a nice tap, but Gopher stayed patient. Walden's going to send that to the corner. Incognito sends it up high. But just so much time for Alice to get the clear. And awkward position there for Warwick. Almost finds its way into the front post. But Gopher once again gets rid of it. Warwick are just holding on at the moment.
Yeah, they're not. I think the biggest problem here is for UWE is they're not able to bait out any of the Warwick defense yet and sort of catch them off guard and reduce the defense to just 1 man. They always seem to have 2 back. But speaking of, the counterattack comes through. No, it hits the crossbar. Jordan's so unlucky not to give University of West England the lead there. That is a close call and maybe a sign of more things to come as he gets another chance here. A poor touch from Gopher, but he gets his car back behind it.
A few of these cracks starting to show now in the Warwick defense. Got to shore up a little bit as, like I say, UWE picking up a bit more steam. But let's see if they can maintain this 0-0 scoreline. Hopefully get one for themselves. Sebadam. It's over Walden. Nice little flick. Forces Alice to make the high save. Straight back to the corner. Jordan's waiting. Good center. Incognito's up, but gets faked out by Gopher. Sebadam gets the 50. Over to Jordan. That's going to be a free shot, but just a slow roller. Alice, after the demo, has tons of time. All the boost. Just going to play with that one in the air for a bit.
It was a good demo from Gopher just to relieve all the pressure, allow his teammates to reset. Because now we're seeing this pressure that we expected in game 1 from UE. They're finally pushing on the net, but although we may have seen cracks, they're looking a bit wobbly themselves now. Walden just putting that one wide of the post. First real opportunity here for Warwick, and they just miss out on the opening goal.
Yeah, we were talking about shots conceded for and shots conceded against. That was Warwick's first shot of the game, almost 3 minutes in, compared to Sea Stags' 5. They've done a really good job of keeping them away from their shooting chances, and they've been given an open net there, but Incognito just beats out Sebadam. No, sorry. Incognito passes it to Sebadam. Sebadam gets beaten out. Brings it back to the corner. Played around Walden. Oh, Incognito pushing up once again. Goes under. Gopher almost gets bumped away by Jordan. Alice can put that one up high. Still in danger. Sebadam. Another rare whiff. Still looking a tiny bit shaky.
Yeah, pressure maybe just getting to them a little bit. They've seen a lot. They've not yet to score, have they? However, of course, I say that just as Incognito gets their first goal of the game. Just under 9 minutes of Rocket League played before Incognito gives University of West England a nice opening goal for them. And that's a bit more like it now, you expect.
Yeah, feels backflip from Alice. One of those defensive cracks we were talking about, but lovely patience for Incognito. And just good power as well. Gopher to himself off the wall, tries to block Sebadam. Sebadam springs up so quick. Can't land the flip reset though. Incognito round again on the corner. It's gone around 3 times now. Make that 4 as Jordan takes it there. Beat in the air by Walden. Alice tries to fake out Sebadam. Gopher is going to send that up to the wall. It's off the backboard. Awkward clear there for Jordan, but he gets there just in time. Now Alice back at the side, beaten up by Incognito. And nobody's near it for Warwick. There's so much time just running off the clock, but that's a fantastic save from Jordan. Saves UWE's 1-0 lead.
So, I'm not quite sure how that was allowed to get such a close opportunity for Warwick, though. The pass was so slow from Alice through to Gopher or the other way around, and then dropped off to Walden. But the net just appeared open. They almost didn't seem like UE expected a shot. That's a missed touch from Sebadam. Jordan does bail him out, and now with only 10 seconds to go, it doesn't look like Warwick will get another opportunity. This ball is in the wrong side of the half. That's a big miss as well.
It's still up. Alice sends it up to Walden. Walden sends it over to the other corner. Gopher gets beaten out by Incognito, and UWE equalize it. We're down to a best of 5.
1-1 in the series. A little bit more what we expected from UWE Sea Stags here. They've now made 8 shots. Much more like it to Warwick's 3. Warwick basically, well, just one shy of the last game, but yeah, a lot more pressure now coming their way. And they didn't seem too happy about it for the most part. There were, I mean, for the first minute or two, I think, before there was a big opportunity for Jordan that slammed off the crossbar, they looked okay. And as soon as it got a bit closer and a bit more scary for them, they started to crumble along the edges. And I think that's what cost them with the unfortunate backflip at the end of the day from Alice. But one mistake, and when you're a team that relies on your defense, any mistake's probably going to cost you.
Yeah, especially when you're up against, you know, some of these top level teams in the league. One mistake is all it takes, as you say. But equalizing this series, you have to feel like UWE are feeling slightly more confident at the moment, coming into this this third game with a victory right behind them. Let's see if they can keep up the pressure that they built up that game, or if Warwick can find a way to circumvent it.
Yeah, it's very, very stalemate. There's a lot of chess play almost going on, where the teams are trying to just figure out the best way to break down their opponents. Well, at least in UWE's sense. For Warwick, it's about trying to catch them off guard, make them overcommit, and catch them napping. They've had a few opportunities like that go close, but with the series all tied up, they need things going their way once again.
To Walden. Short little pinch. Sebadam finds Incognito. Incognito tries the cheeky tap. Just gets blocked by Warwick. Walden faked out by Sebadam. Sebadam tries to go for the 50 under Alice, but Alice stays low. Good defense. Gopher gets the 50. Alice forced to make the jump. Can't quite reach it. Gopher's low on boost. He's just going to hand that to Sebadam, who hits it back up the field. Walden's going to return it again. Gopher goes for the bump. He's got the tap. Oh, almost found its way to top corner.
That was unfortunate, but coming back the other way, Sebadam's gets double commit out of Warwick, but Alice has done well. This game suddenly opened up for a quick second. Walden's going for his classic pinch, trying to do what Cooks did this last weekend gone. Didn't quite work out for him, but this is awkward for Yui at the back. Jordan's done well to clear that one and get the dunk.
Oh, he's done very well. Gopher has full boost, but can only tap it to the side. Sebadam thought it was rolling up. Got caught out by the bounce, and then dunked over by Gopher again. Incognito sends it back. Alice. Soft tap to the corner, but Incognito's waiting. Can't get a good hit. It's going to be a good center chance there. Jordan's jumped early. Nice tap from Gopher to try and find Walden, but can't quite. Open shot attempt there from Alice. That net was wide open for UWE.
Yeah, I think Incognito wanted to move on to that ball, but the second hit from Sebadam as he fell back onto it just dropped that in favor of Alice. And Jordan was caught out at the back, didn't expect anything to be coming through that quickly as he'd gone off for the corner boost. Suddenly, Warwick take an early lead, early-ish lead in their sense at least, and they might make it better here. Walden has a big chance, but the ball bounces high.
Robbed by the curve there. Could have easily been 2-0 in favor of Warwick, but Jordan backflip. I think it was intentional, leaving it for Incognito, but Incognito can't get the best hit. Jordan tries to air dribble, but slammed away by Gopher. Incognito to himself, shut down by Alice. Sebadam's up high, doesn't have the boost, feathering the hell out of it. Gopher, soft tap up the field. Walden, it's a good 50 to the corner, that's going to roll directly to the middle, but Gopher's just a bit slow. And this is the most sort of back and forth that we've seen this series yet.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anywhere near as much pressure for UE as they would have liked. They're really struggling to break down the midfield challenges at the minute from Warwick. Just catching them at that first step of their offense. And because of that, they're still ahead on the shots, but not quite getting any click opportunities. As I say that was a big chance there for Incognito, but he couldn't get that one anywhere near net or his teammate Sebadam.
Sebadam going for the ceiling shot. Didn't quite have it. Back up on the backboard. Tries to block Walden in the corner. Two players sort of on top of each other for UWE, but they get the ball away. Now Jordan has pressure. But Alice just, again, patient on the backboard. Just waiting for one of the UWE players to hit it to them. Incognito keeps it low. But Gopher, good positioning. Forces Sebadam in from the side, but straight back over to Gopher. That's going to be another open net just afforded to Warwick.
Yeah, this one, the 50 is unfortunate. Sebadam does try and get back, but not the touch he was after. Maybe wanted Jordan to turn right away on that to create a quick counter-attack in their favor. However, Gopher's just sat waiting for the little tap down, gets it very nicely handed off to him, and then has the open net to roll it into. Warwick just frustrating University of West England, it looks like. Gopher attempts to try and get on that one, but that's just a miss. Is that going all the way through? No, Jordan will hit it off the crossbar. Alice tries for the low shot. Walden's up. Gets the double tap. Yes, he will. Incognito could not reach it, and suddenly Warwick are running away with game 3.
Just sheer panic from University of West England. Nobody was anywhere near that, but everyone was jumping. And this is not the UWE we've been used to seeing in the last few weeks. They just look disjointed at the moment. Warwick is taking them apart.
Yeah, they do not look very much like a team. We've previously seen lots of offensive plays between Jordan and Incognito as Jordan says, hold up, guys. We're about. Just beats out the men, both waiting on the back line, and a lovely shot. Under one, over the other. The bounce play. Old school shooting right there. Gives them a slight opportunity to get back into this one here, but they need another quick goal to give them ample time to try find that equalizer.
Old school might be just what they need. Anything unexpected to throw off this strong Warwick defense. There's another one that Sebadam's going to have a chance for, and just like that, they're one goal behind.
Yeah, that's not the touch Alice was looking for. Gopher found off the back post. Pops over his head. The one mistake really costing them once again. And suddenly, yeah, just one goal down. 39 seconds. It is very possible they will now feel like they can definitely do this. And Warwick might feel a bit worried. But luckily, time is on their side.
Yeah, 30 seconds left and ticking away. Jordan back in his own corner. It's not where he needs to be at the moment. He's got no boost either. Can only tap it to Alice. Alice. Good follow. Shut down by Sebadam. Gopher. Hits it to Incognito. Jordan up the field. Sebadam's there. Shut down by Walden, though. Incognito's going to have that over Alice. Jordan, he's got the shot chance just behind Gopher, but Gopher stays where he is. 0 seconds now. This needs to go in. Sebadam's not got the boost. He can't follow that. Big save from Walden. Keeps the ball out of net. And inches away for University of West England.
So close, but so far. They had a couple big opportunities. Jordan's probably just before the 0 second mark at the slightly bigger one of the two. But he couldn't get the touch right, and it fell into Gopher. Then on the 0 seconds, the triple commit being pulled out by Warwick to block that. Everyone on the back foot trying to make the save, and they just about get there. And that puts them only 2-1 up in the series, though.
Still 2 games needed to take this series, but that was a lot closer than I think they would have expected based on the first 4 minutes of the game. What happened towards the end there?
Maybe just got a bit too comfortable, to be honest. I'm not really too sure. It seemed, even throughout those few seconds, that everything was the same. Maybe, Warwick got too comfortable for the first one, the mistake for the second one, and suddenly they're shaking in their boots, thinking, oh god, guys, we can't throw this here, we can't do that. Unfortunately for them, they didn't. They now take that 1 foot closer to the semi-finals, but as we've said, there's still 2 games minimum to go that they need to win. If not, we're looking at a further 4 as we now enter game 4.
I mean, it's been back and forth so far. Do you think this series could go all the way?
At this rate, I have no reason to believe otherwise.
I know that your first prediction was it 4-2 UWE?
Yeah, they now need to win a straight 3-0 to get there.
Which they're starting off pretty strong, but not able to keep that pressure with the double commit happening. Walden, nice tap, almost finds the ceiling bounce that's going to come straight down. But Jordan gets it away, straight to Alice though. Sebadam doesn't get the power clear, and the demo on the keeper, that's going to leave another open net. Walden puts it high. Awkward reach for Sebadam, but this time does get the big hit. Alice can only follow that. It's used a lot of boost there.
Oh,
but
this is
wide open net once again for Warwick.
Just struggling to find each other again. It looks like UWE are not sat in the positions they typically find each other, and no one rotating behind. Sebadam waiting on the pass upfield, but he's too close to his teammate. Just shuts down the angle. Probably better that he just rotates through and out on that one. Essentially, it's a double commit that leads to the goal on that. And now, once again, find themselves 1-0 down early on. But Jordan, on the other hand, will come through and double tap that one off the crossbar into the top corner. This man looking their strongest player right now.
That was such a tight angle. I know he had a lot of room behind it, but setting that up from the air dribble, from the wall, sick play from Jordan. And I think that's what they need at the moment, is some more of those individual moments of brilliance.
Got plenty of time to get that still. It's just trying to get it working as cleanly as they know they can do.
Oh, it's an awkward touch from Walden. Jordan sends it back up the corner. Nobody's following that from UWE. Maybe knowing that Gopher's low on boost. And Alice is faked out as well. Sebadam taking out Alice.
Oh my god, what?
UWE have just fallen apart on the left side.
The whiff from Alice throws out Incognito. Gopher gets the quick tap over, and all 3 of them were lined up perfectly to be beaten out by one little play. Positioning once again struggling in the end of West England. But this one has just gone straight over Alice's head. He's misjudged it, and they're once again handed a little bit of a favour.
The ceiling bounce may be catching Alice off guard, and Walden was just not there in enough time to get to it, but just trading goals right now. We saw that lovely goal from Jordan earlier on, but pretty much the rest of the game has just been open nets. Sebadam setting up a nice tap around from the wall, and the pass over to Jordan. Oh, that's something special. That's some of the team play we needed to see.
That's more likely. That's more what we expect here. Sebadam, a beautiful play, takes out 2, gets both players charging at the ball, and brilliant positioning from Jordan on the other side. Pops that one back the way it came, basically. 3-2 now, and I feel like Warwick could feel very hard done by, because they've, caught out by a couple, unique, individual brilliance, and then one misplay. Still hurts a bit, but I guess what can you say, Great individual plays from the University of West England's side, and now they find themselves 3-2 down and have to get another goal at least.
For UWA, it might just be the confidence that they needed. As Jordan tries to take that with the wall, shut down quickly by Gopher. Doesn't quite find the pinch, but Incognito's brought out by it. Sebadam doesn't really have the boost to follow that. Chaperones it back to Jordan. Sends it up the field. Gopher faked out. Keeper's in some danger here for Warwick. Walden up high, nice and quick, gets that just over the crossbar. Sorry. Jordan up the wall, bumped by his own teammate Incognito. There's something off in the communications for UWE.
Yeah, although they may be ahead in this one, they still don't look the well-oiled team we've seen in previous attempts, or in previous games, I should say, from them. Tonight just looks a bit like an off day. Hopefully, I mean, I see them as one of the strongest teams here in the UK university scene. That is, and testament to that with their top 8 performance alongside Nottingham Trent for EURC. But right now, there is just way too many mistakes going on.
They're still holding on to the lead at the moment, though, and they've got some more pressure piling on. They're looking very smooth in offense, but just lacking a little bit in defense. Let's go for gets that over Sebadam, tries to find the bump, but Jordan does it for him. And now, not much boost. Can only stay behind the ball and try and keep Walden away from it. Gopher's up quick. That's going to be centered. But Sebadam using all of his boost to send that straight back to Alice. Sends it to the backboard. Incognito. Just the tap down to Walden. That's finding an off spot. Gopher has a shot chance, but Jordan recognizes it, pushes out nice and quick, and a minute left for Warwick to try and find some kind of opening back into this game.
They need to start getting this ball forwards. They've not really had much of an opportunity since the UWE took the lead. That one goes close. Now Walden gets a good chance, one-on-one just against Incognito. He misses the flick. I think he thought Incognito was going to charge it. Definitely looked that way. Just baited out by the shadow play. Good defending. Gopher, though, trying to get through 2 here. Sebadam's only able to pop it high. Walden elects to back out, and the time just slowly running away. Still not yet getting that big opportunity for Warwick.
15 seconds left. They need to make something out of this pressure. That's a good bump from Walden on Jordan, but the ball straight back to Sebadam, who dies with the effort. Favor return to Alice by Jordan, and now Incognito is just going to waste as much time as he can, but Walden was almost given the shot. Gopher has to fight to keep that up and doesn't. The unfortunate bounce. And UWE, once again, bring it back to a draw.
Yeah, that's so close at the end there. Not a great touch from Incognito. Just dropped that one off to Walden, but I don't think he quite expected it. And once again, all tied up in the series. 2-2 now. It becomes the best of 3. 3 more games maximum to go to decide who will get through. I am still thinking this will go all the way, but who knows?
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, UWE, they are looking a little bit shakier, but so are Warwick, to be fair. They're not, I think maybe the nerves of this quarter-final maybe catching up to them a little bit. But I think UWE definitely coming into this series a little bit more. And, I mean, you can see 11 shots in that game alone to Warwick 6. Starting to send it back a little bit more.
Yeah, 11 shots, but to be honest, I didn't really feel like that was the case. It didn't. Most of the shots weren't really high pressure ones from UWE. It just seemed like they were just sort of pop shots, keeping the pressure, making Warwick stay on their back line. Which, when you're ahead, that's fine. Like, there's no problem with that. They got their 3 early goals, 2 great individual plays, the 1 mistake, and then they held on by just keeping Warwick penned back, and it worked well. Now, they'll probably want to try and do the same again, get an early lead, which they haven't actually had so far, I don't think. I'm pretty sure Warwick have taken the lead every game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but close chances there for them, for UWE even, and now on the other hand, Warwick trying to get out and get that 1-0 that they've had a lot. That's almost amazing as Alice falls onto that ball. Just can't quite push it netways.
I was ready to yell if that had got in. But the fact that they're feeling good enough to try that's a 8-1 up in last game sort of shot. They must be feeling good right now. Walden sends it back up to the backboard. Incognito sends it left over to no man's land. The bounce is kind. Gopher tries to get the double tap off the floor, but Incognito's there first. Again, sends it just straight back to the Warwick defense. Tries to get the bump onto Alice. And gift it to Sebadam. The bounce is awkward, but Walden, nice read. Can't follow that with the boost he has. He's going to give it straight back to Incognito, who again just hits it to Gopher. Back and forth clears now from both teams.
Yeah, that was a really big misplay from UWE. They had so much time, no one electing to push out on that ball after Walden cleared it. Now, a little bit of a double commit there, and Gopher takes out one of his men as well. Walden does pick him up, but both teams just not really using the time they're being given. Especially on the side of University of West England as Gopher tries for the redirect, but quickly shut down by Sebadam.
That's 2 fantastic pass attempts between Gopher and Alice. I mean, like I say, they must be feeling pretty confident at the moment, stringing these together. Whereas Sebadam sends that to the middle, but nobody's there for UWE. Alice beaten out by Incognito. Took 2 players to save that, but they do so. Sebadam almost got bumped. And does get bumped. Now Jordan. He's cut the read. Oh, found it again on the bounce down, but couldn't get it on target. Sebadam sends it off the backboard. Alice, nice hit off of it. Incognito. From the corner, that's Jordan. How has that made its way through? 2 defenders in Warwick.
Once again, a ball like that shouldn't be allowed to sneak through. Gopher didn't realize, and Walden just doesn't read the speed of the play until it's too far past him. Jordan quickly takes that one, pops it home, and with the pressure they've had, deserving the lead once again, but Walden and Warwick probably feeling a little bit hard done by. Just the mistake proving costly once again, even though they've only had 1 shot. They've been crafting their opportunities probably a lot better, or at least attempting to, than University of West England have.
But that comes down once again to the team versus the players. West England has by far the most, I think, it's highlight solo plays so far this series. But Warwick have been putting together some of those insane passing attempts this game. It's only a matter of time, I think, before one of them hits the target. But that's a demo onto Walden, that key player for Warwick. That's going to open up almost a shot attempt for UWE, but not quite getting there in time. Jordan, nice dribble to Incognito. Walden up to it. Jordan leaves it for Sebadam. Alice. Bounce is favourable. Gopher reads it. It's going to leave just Jordan. Hits it to the corner. I don't think anybody's really ready for that for UWE, but nobody from Warwick was either.
Alice tried the quick infield pass to Walden. Walden just found himself slightly too far back to be able to get onto the end of it. Little bit more pressure coming out now from Warwick, but this means Walden's stuck by himself here. Gets beaten out by Sebadam. No one from UE quickly following on that one. However, Jordan tries for the spectacular coming off the backboard. Once again, just unable to put that one home, just dropping it in front of net. But a lot of pressure once again coming out, which is when they need this, because The clock is counting down, and we might see University of West England take a lead in this series score now and put themselves on match point. But as I'm saying, this is a big opportunity wasted. No! The miss from both! And it's not put in by Gopher. Huge opportunity there, gone for Walden, almost given another chance. But that one will be put through. Alice keeps the pressure going. Unrelenting pressure that we've not seen from Warwick, and they do finally make it count. Great finish to the top corner by Alice.
Just a manic string of great shots followed up by great saves, and Warwick finally finds that equalizer. It's about time, I've got to say. They put 4 or 5 fantastic shots on target before they finally got one, but now they've got the pressure on again. It's just Sebadam at the back. Jordan is up nice and quick, but the pinch by Walden. Incognito, he's going to send that up, goes for the flip reset, fakes it out actually, just taps it to the backboard. Alice, that's a big miss. Walden.
Oh, it's a huge miss and a huge dive. As Sebadam is able to pop that one over the last man in Walden. Alice doesn't make the read. Walden tries to be too quick. If he was just patient and net, that would be an easy clear away, but they now only have 4 seconds to equalize. It's a painful one to take if you're Warwick, if you cannot pull yourself back into the game now.
Jordan's actually kept that one alive. I know it's back into the Warwick half, but it's off the floor nonetheless. That one finds its way down to Walden. The brilliant shutdown from Incognito, and Sebadam is just going to say no thank you. And for the first time, we have a team taking 2 games in a row. UWE find themselves in match point.
Match point at the right time. Well, taking 2 in a row at the right time, I should say, to make it match point. This is the first time they've taken the lead in series score, and they're doing it when it matters. We can now see them take 3 in a row, and actually, if they do that, my series prediction is correct at 4-2. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself now. I wasn't too sure about it before, but I think UW are ramping up at the right time. Warwick, so unfortunate though with this one. They played really well. They actually brought out the same amount of shots as UE, the first time we've seen that, but the mistakes proved costly.
Very costly indeed. And UWE, they've just shored up. I know we were talking in the last few games about some of the double commits and rotational mistakes that they've been making. I barely noticed any that game. They looked much more on form and much more dangerous in whenever they held pressure.
Yeah, but for all that, Warwick should be feeling good that they actually brought out their best offense in that game that we've seen from them yet, and that's when UWE also looked at their best. So if given that, they could easily still take this one to the 7th game. It just depends on, can they keep it up and get rid of those big mistakes that have cost them quite a few goals in this series.
It's looking a little bit likely so far. That's a big 50 from Alice on Incognito on Jordan. Send it straight back to Gopher. Nobody's there for Warwick, but Incognito's awkward. Bumped by Gopher. That's going to give Alice the time to tap one over Jordan. Just Sebadam, but nice back rotation. Gets all the power onto that clear. And then the 50. Can he get the shot off? Yes, he can. Sneaks it far near post. Lovely goal from Sebadam around all 3 Warwick players.
Great individual play once again. This is probably what we could say, if they do make it through, is what allows them to keep going. And it's not really what they're known for. The main play we've seen previously from UWE is that one will bounce on the goal line after a huge kickoff. Alice can't make the play. Walden bails him out, but we've not seen any of the link-up play between Jordan and Incognito that's usually so strong between them. And it's probably what's made this game a lot closer than many maybe thought on paper. But that's taking nothing away from Warwick, who have put up a brilliant fight. And we're still going. They have 4 minutes to find the equalizer, but now they almost find themselves 2-0 down. Bit of a double commit as well.
Yep. But that's Sebadam out the play. Didn't expect a whiff from Gopher. And that's a poor tap from Jordan. Gonna give the shot chance to Walden. Incognito gets back nicely. Huge bump from Alice. Takes him out the play. But Walden elects not to go for that. I think probably clever move, as all the players from UWE were lurking. Sebadab up off the ceiling, over Alice, but over the goal as well. Gopher with the pinch. Jordan gets no power on the hit. Walden taken out by Incognito. Just a slow roller. Sebadam's going to waste as much time as he can with this. Takes out one of the players. Big 50. Elects not to use all his boost on trying to get an air challenge there. And still nothing threatening coming from Warwick.
No, they've yet to really put any big opportunities on net. They have made 3 shots, but nothing serious yet. That was a nice attempt at a passing play. Walden couldn't make the slight connection he was after to ping that one onto the backboard. That's given away though in a double commit. Leaves Sebadam in an awkward position. Probably the one player you would want at the back though in those cases, and bailing out his teammates once again. About half of the game left, and Warwick still looking for that all-important equalizer to keep their hopes alive of making it through to the semi-finals rather.
It's a good pass from the ceiling to Alice, but Alice just a little bit far forward. Walden tap off the backboard. That's going to give a free shot to Alice, but Incognito with the pre-jump gets there first. And big pinch from Sebadam alleviates the pressure for a second. Walden sends it straight back though. Gopher sends it high. Incognito's got up the post, and that's a free shot for Walden. Warwick find the equalizer.
Once again, when they finally start applying pressure, Warwick looking ever so strong. The 2 in net for UWE, just not doing anything there for him. No one defending the backboard until it was too late. Then they both found themselves up on it. And Warwick finding a lot of joy actually on the backboard when they do get opportunities to throw the ball up there. Now tied. If they can find another goal and not concede as they almost do there, we will see this game head on to the final game 7. The all-important one. But right now they need to stop this sudden wave of pressure that UWE are putting on them.
Oh, it's a good shot attempt from Sebadam, but slightly high. Incognito gets nothing but a slow roller. That's going to give a free clear to Walden. Jordan runs out of boost, almost own goals that, and Sebadam has to panic clear that away from Walden. But, God, he does well with that. Gets that all the way back to the Warwick backboard. Another free shot gifted there to Jordan. Gopher, he's already up the pitch. He's going to have a shot on this, and Sebadam scrambles for it, gets nothing but air. Warwick go a goal up.
Just no one in the midfield. Incognito found himself way under the ball. Gopher hanging upfield, something we've not really seen from this Warwick team. Realizing that they don't need all 3 players constantly back behind the goal. But this is a kickoff that might just go all the way. Oh no, it's hit Walden and gone in off the post.
Oh God. I feel like he should have seen that post bounce coming from a mile away. But he just came out of the flip. He couldn't stop quick enough. Absolute disaster. And with just over a minute left, we're back to level. All of that hard work from Warwick undone by a single flip.
The costly mistakes are just getting worse and worse right now for Warwick. Probably one of the most painful things in a game of Rocket League, where you've been playing oh so well, but the little things have cost. However, right now Walden will restore their lead. Gifted so much time in the midfield here. Incognito not getting the read. Jordan found himself sat at field, and smart play from Gopher just to make Sebadam jump early. Walden instantly making up for his mistake. Does not want that to be the difference. It definitely looks like Game 7 is on the cards right now. And who could have asked for anything else, really?
Gotta say, Gopher's been finding a lot of success this game as the man up front, being, you know, either Walden making the play and Gopher going for the bump, or Gopher receiving the pass from one of them. And that might be a strat that they try and employ a little bit more, just sending Gopher up, boost starving and bumping. That's a fantastic shot from Sebadam, though. Finds the far corner. Absolute banger to the top left.
Great shot. No one quite in position. Just wait. No one waiting on the goal line there, but that's probably the one spot that Sebadam could have stuck that without it being saved. But another kickoff opportunity here. Alice will pull that one off the goal line. This one's still in a very awkward spot. Gopher helps out his team now. The final 10 seconds. Will we see a late smash and grab from one of these teams, or will we go to a huge overtime here in Game 6? It is the latter. One goal now separates a Game 7 or University of West England moving through to your semi-finals.
Everything is on the line, and Sebadam has to be on the line there. Clutch backflip keeps that out of net. Gopher tries to send another one on. Another panicky double commit. The first one we've seen in a little while from UWE. Alice bumped up, slaps Jordan off the ceiling. Walden can't find the positioning with that clear. Leaves just Gopher. Does well to slow that down. Sebadam favourable with the 50. Warwick almost panicking and ruining themselves, but that's a nice breakaway from Walden. Jordan can't keep it under control. Alice is going to get a shot chance just off the crossbar. So close for Warwick. And another one, Sebadam has to hit it to the post.
Pressure coming through thick and fast right now for Warwick. Gopher looking for a lot of demos as that offensive man too. Just couldn't quite catch them there, and then still looking positive, but the one thing they can't afford to do now is any sort of mistake, as that will surely see UWE capitalize with a goal and knock them out of the tournament. The winner of this game, or this series, is going on to face Lancaster. So there is a tough opposition waiting for either side, but right now, can Warwick sneak a goal to take this one to the final Game 7? Not looking promising.
That's a nice shot from Jordan, but nice block from Gopher as well. Good rotations. Sebadam tries to get it round Walden. Incognito's going to put one awkwardly up. Alice can only get a slow clear, but manages to get it into space. Jordan tapped to himself. No boost off the backboard. It's just Gopher at the back, but nobody's joining him from UWE. Incognito pushes up now onto the corner. Gets slapped back by Walden. Almost finds the dunk over Alice, but just a little bit high. Sebadam gets the bump. That's going to let him go in front of the net.
And that will do it.
UWE takes the series. Fantastic coordinated team play at the end.
So smart from Sebadam just to leave the ball alone, clip Walden's tail, and wobble him off that. Alice in net wasn't quite fast enough to react in time. And UWE Sea Stags move on 4-2 as predicted. You can all thank me later. They
everyone
move
except
on to
Warwick.
the semi-finals. Yeah, apologies, Warwick. But you put up a great fight. Just couldn't quite make it in the end. So close, but so far.
Except for the first game, which was 3-0. Every single match came down to one goal. And Warwick, like you say, they played outstandingly well. Walden in particular, stepping up huge in that last game. And it came so close. All they needed was one more goal in that overtime, and you feel like they would have been favourites to take the series. But alas, UWE will move on to face Lancaster in your first semi-final.
Yes, so that is what we have to look forward to as our last game of the night. But next up, I do believe we are going on to see the match between Nottingham Trent and Portsmouth Paladins, I should say. There is an S at the end. There is more than one.
It does feel like it's Psycho at times, but there is more than one of them.
They are a full team of 3, and that will be a great matchup as Portsmouth will be hoping to make back-to-back, in brackets, LAN finals, as sadly, with the world being as it is right now, that will just be played online instead. But they want to be back-to-back grand finalists of the NSE. But they have tough opposition in Nottingham Trent. We will be going to a quick break before we bring you that one. So do not go anywhere, boys. You don't want... Boys and girls. Anyone, everyone. You don't want to miss it. We will see you then.
even when they hurt. You wanna feel, wanna fall in love, wanna give it all up. But you don't want to lose your control. Are we playing this game? Oh, are we playing this game? Are you too afraid, or are you giving in? Let the games begin, 'cause I play to win. I playing this game. 'Cause I play to win. Cause I play to win. You fear that love is hard to find. Not in your heart, but in your mind. Are we playing this game? Oh, are we playing this game? Are you too afraid, or are you giving in? Let the games begin, 'cause I play to win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our second game of the night. Now bringing you the semi-final stages of the NSE. And we have a big game here. I'm still Princey. We still got Drumzels. He hasn't gone anywhere. So we will be bringing you a great game between Portsmouth Paladins and Nottingham Trent. Both teams yet to face each other.
Yeah, that's weird. 2 matchups in a row of these top teams where they haven't had a chance to play each other yet this season. But it's, again, 2 quite close teams, those seeds next to each other. And 2, I'd say, quite similar play styles, I would say. Very speedy, very aggressive, lots of boost use, lots of just general aggression, I think so. Should be quite a fast start to this game.
Yeah, it will be interesting because we know Instinct, especially from Nottingham Trent, loves a load of demos.
Oh, yeah.
But the way Portsmouth have been playing recently has been a lot of bim bam, a lot of just monkeying around, going crazy for the ball and trying to get an unlimited amount of shots. If they can avoid the demos and play that way, I think we'll see a really good showing from Portsmouth here in this matchup. But as I said, we haven't yet seen these 2 play, so I'm not quite sure what to expect. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the way to play around lots of demos is obviously to just play as fast as possible, to speed up, try and avoid anyone on the way. So I think Portsmouth should slightly counter Nottingham to begin with, but remains to be seen whether or not Nottingham are going to adapt to that. And also, there's also the added factor of Misty playing with quite a high ping today.
Oh yeah, being back in Malaysia. That might be the difference maker. And I mean, obviously, Portsmouth being the reigning NSE champions will want to be keeping that up. They do not want to be going short of the finals because that's just a bit of a downer when overall your team's improved, but you get a much worse finish. Well, not a much worse, but, a worse finish than before because the loser of this, they're not yet out. They play in the 3rd place playoff, but that is nothing compared to the top spot, which awaits the winner of the grand finals here in the NSE. And we get this game 1 underway. Early demos and an early goal for Geordie Unknown. Portsmouth quickly coming out with the pressure.
Psycho's hit from the wall, just catching out all 3 players in the same rotation at Nottingham. All of them heading from left to right across that net. And Geordie just getting there first, getting the nice shot in 10 seconds, the opener for Portsmouth.
It's a good start for Portsmouth because probably what we expected here was the big aggression for Nottingham Trent. I mean, Johnny is the top player for shots in the National League this season. He has put up a crazy amount. I'm not quite sure what the total number is, but right now they're looking a bit wobbly as Geordie goes close again. Couldn't quite get that one on target though. It's
been a bit of back and forth from these 2 teams. Esper, nice challenge from the net. Let's see if... Well, Portsmouth obviously played yesterday in the URC, and it's not a good day for British teams. But let's see if they've shaken that one off in this all-important semi-final game for the NSE. Geordie, that's a nice tap to the backboard. Esper following up once again. Psycho's up quick, but the whiff. It's going to leave Instinct to just tap it back to himself on the wall. Misty's there. Nice comms from Nottingham, but a little bit bunched up there. Psycho has to make the clear. Pressure mounting from Nottingham Trent.
They're looking to get a little bit more forwards, but I think that's been their downfall, to be honest. This, as a great defensive flick comes out from Instinct. They are actually the team that has conceded the most amount of goals out of any championship level team that made top 6 here at 1.7 a game. So we can expect Portsmouth to probably pick up a second one as this goes on. Not quite here now. The pressure's still coming out from them now. Maybe a chance to quick counterplay. No, Esper shuts it down. And what I was saying before about Johnny having the most shots, he averages 3.6 or just shy of a game. Already has 2. And that's not even half the game gone yet. So keeping up that record right now. Just needs to convert them into goals.
Of those shots, he is the number 3 goal scorer in the league as well. So a lot of conversions from those as well. But nothing coming of it as of yet, as we find ourselves halfway through this first game. Esper, whiff from the wall, has to dribble it back, but blocked by Instinct. Lucky spawn for Geordie Unknown. And that's 2 players bumped each other from Nottingham Trent. It's a nice tap from Psycho up the pitch, but Johnny just off the backboard. Hang on, Psycho afforded an open net from the whiff from Misty. 2-0 for Portsmouth.
Instinct tried to drop this one to a teammate, but Misty was on the wrong side of the ball and ends up on the back wall for some reason. Psycho nicely just takes that one, pops it home. 2-0 now to Portsmouth. Little bit more comfortable. We've not quite seen the demos that we maybe expected from Instinct yet. He might just be waiting to bring them out later on to catch Portsmouth sleeping, as this is a good old best of 7 and we're only beginning game 1 here.
I mean, they've got to be expecting them from Instinct. That man is an absolute demo machine. But like you say, none coming out so far. Johnny, it's a weak tap to the middle. So Geordie finds Psycho up on the wall. Psycho goes for the double, but Misty, absolutely enormous clear. Straight back to the corner. And another one in return. That's going to find the bottom corner. Both posts and back out from Misty. So close from Geordie Unknown.
That was a boomer off his car. I did not expect to see that much speed off the hit, because I'm pretty sure it hit the top of his car, but knowing the hitbox perfectly there at the Dominus. Now Portsmouth still with all the pressure, and Psycho sneaks that one through at a tight angle. 3-0 now to Portsmouth, looking so much better than they did last night, I must say. Casting them in EURC, where they did sadly drop out, but right now they are on fire. No double commits, no rotational errors. They seem to have suddenly fixed that overnight, and it is quite good. But it's interesting how, but it is great to see, to be honest, because this looks more like the Portsmouth of old right now.
Yeah, this is the Portsmouth that won the last season. And you can see why in how they're playing. They are just in the right place at the right time all the time. Not really any mistakes, unlike that one that almost cost Nottingham a 4th. That would have been interesting. Instinct gets the flip. Geordie's going to send that back off the backboard. Johnny can only get a slight tap. Psycho to the middle. Misty, not the best clear. Johnny's waiting for it. Sends it back up. Instinct has an awkward one. Manages to keep that from bouncing off the ceiling and down. 2 players up once again for Nottingham. But Psycho elects not to go up for it. Called off by Esper. Now with 30 seconds left, Nottingham looking down and out in this game 1.
They do. They're not really. They had a good bit of pressure in the first couple minutes, and then ever since I think Portsmouth settled here into this game 1, they've just struggled to get anything going. This might be, you know, the problem that they have with Misty being on 180 ping, going back home, but not too much going in their favor. Portsmouth take a really comfortable game 1 here to get things underway.
Yeah, like you said, they just looked like a well-oiled machine. They had no issues with rotations, with double commits. They looked like their old selves again. And they are formidable when they do so. But, I mean, taking this first game 3-0, Warwick did in the last series as well, and we saw how that turned out.
Yeah, it's true. This is a long series. This is the only game both these teams are playing tonight. So, you know, maybe they just haven't quite warmed up. They haven't got the pace of the play going that Nottingham Trent maybe are hoping to find later on. Instinct, Killsync, rather, was singing their prayers yesterday in their game against Dorans where they won 3-1. Because even with Misty having the 180 ping that he did, they smashed those series out the park. According to him, I still haven't yet seen the gameplay, but he said they were just playing the best Rocket League he's seen them play before. And, you know, that is probably what they'll be looking to try find again here now.
It just remains to see whether or not they can get that momentum that they had yesterday. But they've still got a lot of time to find it. Let's see what happens in this crucial game 2. Johnny starts off with no boost, gets the pinch, but Esper's up nice and quick. Psycho, well, that's a low one to Instinct. Geordie, what a save! Clutch from the tap. And much better start for Nottingham Trent so far.
Yeah, but just like that, they look really caught out here, and they will, in fact, concede. Geordie going from one clutch play in front of his own net to just booming that one downfield. Catches it perfectly on his card. Doesn't even hit the ground before going in. Instinct had no chance charging back, and Portsmouth continuing as they left off last game. Really smart play. And playing like they were in games 3 and 4 in last night's EURC, where they really took control and played the way we know they can.
I'm starting to see why Nottingham have such a high number of shots for, but such a high number of goals against as well. It's an all-or-nothing play style that pays off in this instance. All 3 players up. Instinct only has to tap that one in, and Psycho can't get anywhere near.
Yeah, slightly overplayed from Portsmouth in their own net. Geordie wanted the chance at the open net. Psycho coming off the backboard, tried to lay it off for Esper. Esper, though, got too close. Still tried for the shot, smacked it over the crossbar, and that's what led to them being in that unfortunate situation. A slight misplay. But I wouldn't be too worried about that because it came from their own mistake. It was not Nottingham cutting through, and once again, another mistake. One after another. This one from Misty just slipping all the way. Psycho misjudging the ball. Esper tried his best to get back, but at once Misty had his car clanked in the way. There was no chance of that ball being saved. And 2-1 now. The game suddenly flipped on its head early on here in game 2.
Yeah, for the first time we see Nottingham Trent in the driver's seat, in control of this game. See how they can hold on to this lead. Misty sends it up the line. There's those Instinct demos that we were talking about. He's starting to bring them out now. Starting to remember his old self. Misty going for a crazy redirect. Johnny given a shot chance, but Esper in the right place. Geordie's going to send it up. Esper once again gets a lovely shot over. Misty just has to jump to be there. There's 2 players up again. Misty, he's going for the bump. Oh, fakes out Esper.
Portsmouth, after looking so good, a couple mistakes really shaking them up here. They're now reverted back to that old self where everyone's charging at the ball and there's no control. That's such a good touch from Psycho, though. Just pop that over his goal, but still unrelenting pressure right now from Nottingham Trent. It almost seems like a matter of time before they concede again. However, saying that, Psycho will sneak that one past his man. A nice little redirect off the wall, and just like that, we're tied up.
Like I said, the more aggressive you are as a team of 3, the more susceptible you are to a counter-attack like we just saw. All it takes is one little dink up the field and someone to be in the right place, and you can just pop one into an open net. Nice positioning from Psycho for the equalizer. Oh, and Johnny was given an open net, was a bit of a tight angle, but just couldn't quite get the angle. But then Misty, straight afterwards, finds another one high under the crossbar. Nottingham Trent once again lead.
Well, I respect to Esper and Instinct for sticking to the car lock there. Especially Esper, as his team was stuck in an awkward position and find themselves now once again 1 goal down, 3-2 in the series now. And suddenly Nottingham Trent just looked more and more offensively structured going forwards and just catching Portsmouth sleeping and shaky.
Yeah, they're definitely warming up into this. But Psycho, he's finding more of these taps upfield. That's a big double commit, brings Misty out to play. Instinct has to take it to the wall. Psycho's up nice and quick. Goes for the shot. He's just nobody home for Psycho's shot there. And it's 3-3.
Misty is back, but I think that's possibly the power of the latency with his ping being so high. Unfortunately, cannot react anywhere near to the timing he would want. And now we see a game once again tied up. Just as you said, the overextension from Nottingham Trent, but they will tie it up just like that. Some great play. Instinct almost getting the huge dunk goal off of Psycho. Johnny comes through nicely with a cheeky little double tap off this crossbar. And we're once again 1 goal ahead for Nottingham Trent. Still 2 minutes to go in this game. This has been a goal fest.
It seems like every time Portsmouth get one back, Notts trying to just like, no, and score another one in like 20 seconds. It's just back and forth. It's unrelenting from both teams at the moment. And this is the aggression festival that I was talking about before the game. It's Geordie Unknown, sends it back up the pitch. Misty is in an awkward spot here, but good control and great patience for the 50. Geordie tries to get it over Johnny, but Johnny's having none of it. Gonna be able to center this, but no, Psycho stays firm. Instinct up for the double tap. Psycho once again, he's there. Psycho so consistent with these defensive reads.
Yeah, but they're still looking for a goal. That was a good drop down by Esper. Oh, that's a big miss. It's only Psycho at the back, and it's probably the one you want at the back right now. Somehow also beats out 2 players. Only Johnny back there. Still Psycho on the ball pulling this one forward. It's somehow been able to be pulled all the way through, but nothing leading from it. And Misty almost able to pop that one over the Portsmouth defender's head. It's just clock running down, but still end-to-end stuff.
It's Portsmouth's turn to score if the last few goals have been anything to go by. And Esper's looking to make it happen. Psycho, nice tap to the backboard. Up to Johnny, though. Instinct. Does look like Geordie Unknown. There's one of those double taps that he's so well known for at the moment. Lovely goal from Geordie.
I mean, that was just a big misread for for the goalkeeper, I've got to say. I think that was Misty again, just not quite being able to read the game with his high ping. And Portsmouth will take that, but as we've seen so many times, once again, Nottingham Trent are just like, yeah, you can score, but we're just going to go right back ahead and take the lead once again. And Misty, such a speedy recovery off the wall there, gets that back on that before Portsmouth have even blinked and find themselves 1 goal up with 21 seconds remaining. Can they hold on to it, though, is another question.
I mean, you have to feel like Portsmouth are going to feel hard done by, especially with shots like that going just off the post. 2 players up, that's all players up for Portsmouth. Esper has to take that back to his own net. Geordie playing for the bounce, he gets it. Misty's going to be there first, though. It's down off the ceiling awkwardly. Psycho's going to have to work to keep that up. Instinct decides to do it instead. Geordie, the control. Been the MVP for Portsmouth so far this series. Psycho. Oh, just can't quite get it round. And Nottingham Trent bring it back 1-1.
Only 1-1. That was a long, long slog of a game. Lots of goals for both teams. We see 13 shots for Nottingham Trent and 11 for Portsmouth. Plenty of action in front of the goals. A fair few mistakes at the back, which is probably why a lot of these went through. Now I think the question is who can shore up that defensive line, who can remove these errors and just shut the other team out for the most part. Because, yeah, if you keep... I mean, all good if you can score plenty of goals, but you've also, got to defend.
Yeah, especially, I mean, against the hyper-aggressive style that Nottingham Trent bring out, I think you have to be meeting these balls before they get anywhere close to the net. And I know it's the exact opposite of the advice that we were giving them yesterday, but I think they need to speed up a tiny bit to Portsmouth.
We see the server go down for maintenance, so we will just get that back up underway. But yeah, this isn't, what we expected. I mean, maybe it is, but Portsmouth have been the third best team for conceding goal the third best team for conceding goals, only at getting like 1.4 per game against them. Whereas, and the third best at conceding shots. but just the pressure that is coming out from Nottingham Trent right now, clearly getting them a bit rattled. So, can they just show themselves up at the back line? That is the question. We are looking for them to be answered.
Yeah, it all depends on how they can, like you say, shore up the defense. Just a little bit is all they need. They were only 1 goal shy last game, and they had plenty of chances in the meantime. But all the players are back in. Relatively short break shouldn't do much for the momentum in this series, and I think everyone's pretty eager to see how this game is going to progress.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot of Rocket League to play. We've just dropped it down to a best of 5 as we are 1-1 series now. So at least 3 games to go. And who will take the more convincing outlook? Because Portsmouth looked strong in game 1. They looked pretty good for the most part in game 2 as well. Just couldn't stop the chances falling the way of Nottingham Trent and couldn't stop themselves conceding just after scoring. I think that was the story of game 2 for them, but Instinct finds himself in all sorts of trouble on the backboard, and Geordie will happily just tap that one home. Oh, he caught the post trying to go up to get a nice clear off the backboard. Geordie says, thank you very much. I will take that. And Portsmouth go 1-0 up.
Just that tiny little catch on the post. Massive dunk from the ceiling for Geordie Unknown. Keeps the play in the Nottingham half. Misty's going to try and get that round. Finds Johnny almost exactly, which takes Esper out of the play. That's going to be a shot chance for Johnny. He likes to go off the backboard. But Esper, so quick, so powerful with that clear. Forces Psycho up with no boost. That's going to take him out the play for a good while. Instinct has the shot chance, gets the double tap, but it's just a little bit high. Now Misty's going to keep it off the backboard, but Johnny elects not to commit as the third man. Probably the smart play at the moment. And a nice passing play between Psycho and Geordie. More end-to-end play from both teams.
Yeah, so far though, not being fruitful for Nottingham Trent. And what a little pop from Psycho. Geordie and Psycho combining very nicely here. The lovely 1-2 play and the doink at the end of it all to see that one past Instinct and give themselves a little bit more of a cushion. A 2-goal lead now developing for Portsmouth here in game 3.
It's the one thing Nottingham Trent need to work on. Instinct, how has he missed that? That was such an open net for Instinct. That should have been 2-1.
I think he just didn't expect it. Psycho, they're not known for causing big mistouches, especially on his own goal line, but Instinct has sent that one towards his own net. Johnny spawns on the good side and saves his team.
Yep. As I was saying, before all of this mania began, I think Nottingham Trent need to stop opening themselves up to counter-attacks, sending all 3 players so far up, as that's been the main source of the goals against them so far. Now Instinct. Big flick, but Psycho was ready and waiting for it. Lovely tap down from Misty to Johnny. But no follow-up for it. Geordie's going to send it to the backboard. Misty can't find the touch. And double commit from the players on Nots Trent. Instinct's going to put that high. Esper's up first. Doesn't have the boost to follow it, but it's dropping awkwardly. Misty gets rid of it. Psycho. I think he's just heading for the bump, but again leaves himself really far forward. It's just Esper at the back once again. And Portsmouth may be opening up to the same thing, these counterattacks.
Possibly, but right now they're still sitting comfortable with that 2-goal advantage. And they're working their defense nicely. We've not seen the double commits that yesterday brought out of them. Playing it a lot calmer at the back, a lot more trusting in each other. And it's working for them as this clock drops below the minute 45 mark. Right now, Nottingham Trent just can't get any clear opportunity. Only 2 shots this game. Just as I was talking about in the break about Portsmouth having the 3rd best defense in terms of, just minimizing shots against them. They're doing that nicely here, and Psycho will pick up a good read to give them a 3-0 cushion. Unfortunate for the first one not to go in, but it pulls out 2 players and just leaves him with a nice tap away to make it 3.
I think Misty possibly struggling a bit more with this this new server than he was with the old one, but still playing pretty well regardless. Instinct tries to go for the redirect, but Psycho's there much longer before him. Johnny, fortunate tap back to the own net, and Instinct and Misty bump into each other. That's going to give a shot chance to Esper. 2 players up once again for Nottingham. Instinct going to take that up the line, but Psycho, huge slam over him. Misty on the backboard once again. Gets the hit. Johnny's going to have the redirect attempt, but whiffs. Geordie sends it up to Psycho. Psycho to the backboard. 2 players up again for Nottingham. And it just seems like Portsmouth are asking some questions at the moment that Nottingham aren't really sure if they have the answer to.
No, they don't really look like they're trusting each other on the back line. There's a lot of rotational mishaps coming out from their team at the minute, as a lot of the time players seem to be appearing on top of each other. The demos we saw a lot of in Game 2 suddenly have vanished. That one will just slide off the post, and again off the other side. Instinct couldn't put it away. It was probably too little too late, but you always think that a late goal will help you leading into the next one. Just build a bit of pressure, try and put a bit of uncertainty in your opponent's head. Unfortunately for them, that's going to put more uncertainty in their head, as now they don't even know if they can shoot anymore. Psycho somehow keeps this one up off the ground and throws in the 0-second goal. 2 players from Nottingham Trent. Odie, stop. Oh. It's a great catch and pop.
I have no idea how that stayed up off the ground, but Psycho just showing his pure mechanical control. And a commanding 4-0 victory for Portsmouth. I was thinking this was starting to mirror the last series we watched, Warwick versus UWE. But after the first game, which was 3-0 Warwick, every single game was 1 goal between them. But Portsmouth, that's 2 big wins for their wins so far. They're running away with these games whenever they are ahead.
They do. It's as soon as they get the lead, they seem to be able to hold it. We didn't see any of the offensive pressure from Nottingham Trent at all. Just 4 shots this time round. Much lower than what we've seen previously. And just, no offense really developing for them. They seem to fall at the first hurdle this time, where their players just ended up on top of each other on the defense, and it was always scrambling to get the ball away, which meant they could never really get it under control to push themselves forwards. It didn't look promising at all, and they've really got to try and fix that. We are having a slightly extended break, I think, between this game 3 and 4, because Psycho has needed to run off to do something, who knows what. He just wanted a quick break. Maybe it's the toilet break.
Just put him on blast on stream, why not?
Well, if these players are staying hydrated, then you've got to go when you got to go.
It's true. Very important in these times. Remember to drink enough water.
Yeah. Hope everyone's staying safe out there as well. Us gamers, we're inside, so it doesn't really matter too much. But
oh yeah. I can't even remember what fresh air smells like.
What do you think Nottingham Trent require right now to bring themselves back?
Well, you were talking about shot numbers at the end of last game. Johnny is the number 1 shooter in the entire league. He had a ridiculously high shot percentage. No, sorry, not shot percentage, just number of shots. And he had 0 shots last game. He didn't get a single one even close to target. That is something just way out of character for him, and something that I think he needs to address individually. And maybe Nottingham Trent need to readjust their playstyle to how it normally is.
Yeah, I think that's probably just the lack of the passes being fed into him, to be honest. I think it was just Instinct and Misty seemed to be very much on top of each other the whole time at the back. And then because of that, Johnny doesn't want to risk staying at field. He needs to charge back and help out his teammates. So just, yeah, got to build up that trust again at the back. Start from step one, and then you can develop your offense. Right now, though, Portsmouth coming out with a lot of pressure once again.
Yeah. I was going to say, even if you can fix some of those mistakes, there's only so much you can do. And Psycho, you can tell he's feeling good. Esper, you can tell he's fixed a lot of the mistakes that he had yesterday in a URC. And Geordie is just popping. Psycho, the Portsmouth are looking unstoppable at the moment.
Misty coming out with a slight car change, going for a very vibrant yellow Fennec. Just trying to get that placebo of the reset. Not feeling too confident about it. So Johnny almost gets a nice little pop shot. Esper just about jumping to save that one. Game probably 0-0 for the longest amount of time so far.
Yeah, only 1 minute and 20 seconds, but in this absolute score fest that has been this series, that is almost too long, and Instinct agrees with me. Finds a lovely shot to the top corner.
A nice little hit down. And I don't think Psycho had boost as the shot from Instinct banged into that top corner. Brilliant placement. And based off this, we're going to tie up the series once again, as whichever team scored first blood has gone on to take the game victory. So let's see if Portsmouth can change that so far. That's a great dunk, though, from Misty. Trying to keep this pressure up while they can.
Lands on the ceiling and jumps down and still has the perfect timing for the block. Psycho. Ooh, not quite the hit he was looking for. First sort of mechanical mishap we've seen from him all series. Esper. That's a nice hit. Misty. That's not the touch he was looking for. That's going to give a free shot, but lovely recovery. Just robs Geordie of the top corner shot. Now the counter-attack for Nottingham Trent. Esper is forced up, but Misty and Instinct both back, maybe trying to play a bit more of a defensive playstyle now that they've got this 1-goal lead. Not quite working.
No, just as you say that, they survive a 50 off their goal line. This is still really awkward for Nottingham Trent. Just about getting away with a lot of these 50s. And they survive the wave of pressure now, hoping to try and make themselves a little bit more comfortable in this game. But that ball goes AWOL from Johnny's touch, just able to push it off to the side. That's not a good hit by Misty either. Johnny is sat back in net to keep that one away from their opponents.
Johnny getting a few more shots in this game, but showing that he can do it in defense as well. Nice read off the corner, takes Esper out the play. But with Misty on the back rotation, ball side, that's an awkward spot for Johnny. Nice clear off the backboard, but Psycho's going to send it straight back to where it was. Forces the pre-jump from Instinct. Johnny kind of hesitating there, back and forth on the post, but does well to get that over to Esper and to get the block on Esper as well. And starting to push back into the Portsmouth half now, but again, not committing too much. Instinct tries to get the slow roller on net. Esper is third man once again. Johnny gets the tap. Misty decides not to go for it. Johnny tries to get one on net. Esper has to pre-jump. Instinct, though, that's a great centre, but Misty just with the whiff. I think faked out of it by Esper. Now up on the ceiling for Johnny, but mistimes the jump. The sad backflip from the ceiling.
I think Nottingham Trent seems to have taken a slightly more passive role. They're not going as aggressive on Portsmouth when Portsmouth have possession. They're allowing them to push out and then trying just to change into offense as fast as possible. Just catch them sleeping. Quick counter-attack plays. As this game's still very back and forth, but just a bit more time for each team, and somehow Geordie is gifted the open net. Misty not able to get back on that. Both players, Johnny too close, and Instinct rotating out for back boost. That one will slip through their lines. Portsmouth gifted an opening here with 45 seconds to go in what could be a big game 4.
All it took was a brief foray back into their old habits, and they were just susceptible to a wide open net once again. Nottingham Trent showing that they do have the ability to adapt, but do they have the mental fortitude to keep it up for the rest of this series? As Esper takes it up the ceiling. Psycho gets demoed by Instinct. That's going to leave a lovely shot attempt, and Johnny with the follow-up. What a touch from Instinct on the wall.
That was a brilliant hit from Instinct. The demo, I don't think he knew too much about, but the way he angled his car to get that to flip the way it did, some brilliant mechanics coming out, and Johnny just sees that one home, making sure Geordie was not able to push that one out, even if he did manage to make the touch. And once again, we see Nottingham Trent doing what they did in Game 2 pretty well, just quickly scoring to stop Portsmouth gaining any momentum when they finally bring it back to a tied game. This ball now just has to hit the floor and we will be all tied up, but not yet happening. That is a great clear from Johnny. And it is all tied up 2-2. This one also appearing to go the distance.
We've had a mirrored series so far from the last one. We've had back and forth wins from both teams now. And as this goes down to a best of 3, you have to feel like Nottingham Trent, they've changed their playstyle remarkably. They've managed to curb some of those bad habits that they started off the series with. And they're starting to bring in some really, really good habits as well in their rotations. But still, the occasional slip up back into what they were doing, but it's still enough for them to take multiple games away from Portsmouth.
Yeah, they're not looking anywhere near as aggressive as what we know of them previously. They have been the #1 boost users in the league as a collective. And I think a lot of that came from the demos and allowing the boost deals, but we've seen very few and far between the demos actually come through from Nottingham. As you said, and as I pointed out earlier, they look very much to be sitting back, even though they've still managed 8 shots this game. They're learning to sit back and not just go all out with the pressure. They're realizing that sometimes, you have to concede that Portsmouth will get opportunities because they are such a high caliber team themselves. And it's just about knowing when to capitalize. And I think that last game showed it pretty nicely there. They did drop back into their old selves with the open net for Geordie, but overall much better from them.
Oh, almost finding an early opener in this game as Portsmouth opening up a little bit at the back, but good back rotations means that they get away with that one. Instinct. They top it up high. Misty. Lovely aerial control from Psycho. Get in the way of that. Johnny tries to find the tap down, but it's too steep for him. Now Psycho back once again. Hit that up. Instinct reversing up to mid boost, but it works out. And Geordie, that's not the hit he'd be looking for. That's in the danger zone. Awkward for Esper. And Misty gets the demo on Geordie. Panic stations for Portsmouth at the moment, but Psycho with the flick is enough to alleviate the pressure.
Suddenly now they're out on the offense themselves. A lot of pressure coming out here. Geordie has a good chance to pass that one back to Esper. The pop shot goes high, but it pulls 2 players out from Nottingham Trent. They're not quite trusting each other yet still. That is a great clear just to give them the relief they needed. Allow the boost to be grabbed because they look very short. But they get away with it, and maybe now we will see this game go slightly longer than before, as this was the point where the first goal was scored last game. We are still even for now. The goals slowly coming down in this series as the teams are getting savvy to the play style and just getting a bit more assured of themselves on the back foot.
I think more restrained play from both teams so far this series. I say that, Instinct, I think he's disconnected or something there. I thought he was going for a ceiling shot on the end of Misty's pass, but might have just been a brief mishap. Geordie, nice tap. Has the boost robbed from him. He's got 0. This could be an awkward spot for him, but nobody there from Notts Trent. Instinct. Tap up to Misty. Gets Psycho out the play. I've noticed Psycho is being deprived of the ball a lot more often than he's used to this series.
Well, that is a great play for Nottingham Trent to keep the ball away from the star man on the Portsmouth side. Because when Psycho gets it, he has an 89% assist ratio for his team, which is just crazy. Most of the play comes through him when they're looking good. So if you can stop that man feeding his teammates, you're going to stop a lot of Portsmouth's goals.
He's up for another one there. It's up off the backboard. But Johnny up so quick as well. Esper just whizzes past. Geordie good with the cleanup. It's going to bounce his way to middle. Awkward clear for Misty, but adjusts well. Psycho not the best hit. Johnny's going to be waiting there, but he likes to leave it for Misty, who's still pushing up. Esper back up the pitch. Johnny into the middle. Geordie into the middle. Doesn't have any boost to follow up on that. Misty sends it back to Esper. Esper puts it up high. Psycho, very ambitious jump there. I think trying to get it into the middle. The 50's going to find it there. Misty up the pitch. Blocked by Esper. And very, very even between the two teams at the moment. Neither wanting to give up that first goal.
This game is settled into very classic stalemate of just play it safe. Don't overcommit. Don't try too much. Wait for your opponents to push out. That was possibly a chance there as Instinct went flying past that ball. That is a great shot. Oh, just pulled off the goal line by Esper. A brilliant pinch off the post. But still, very close. Misty takes that one off the goal line. We might see our first 0-0 head through to overtime as well between these two. As the pace of the play is slowed down and they're just making sure that no mistakes are happening.
And that's what Portsmouth struggled with yesterday, was just trying to keep it slowed down to a level that they could control. Looks like they've perfected that in this game here. But 4.5 minutes gone, no goals in this game from two honestly goal machine teams. But Misty, that's a hell of a drop down to the middle. Almost found the net, I think. Psycho. He's got two players on the back rotation. That's awkward for Misty, but does well to get it to the side. Esper's going to drop that into the middle. Johnny's up there, but so is Misty. No boost now for either of the Nottingham defenders. Now Esper, he's going to have a tap to the middle, but nobody there on the end of that. Nottingham are going to be looking to get this down, I think. No, Johnny. It's too high, and Geordie can't get it to the side. 0-0, we go into overtime in this crucial Game 5.
Yeah, this one somehow, just no goals scored. We've only seen, we've seen 9 saves actually coming out from Nottingham Trent, only managing 3 shots as well. Whereas now that's now their 4th. That was almost the 5th. That's a big one as well, but it's gone wide from Johnny. Almost showing that they could put on a clinic and just stick the ball away when needed. But right now, they're all pressure. Portsmouth just holding on. In this first 40 seconds, they're trying to get out, but they are struggling.
This is the definition of relentless from Nottingham. Psycho finally has some time on the ball. He's got the flick. But Johnny is up. Nice and speedy. He's fallen off the bar, though. Geordie over to Psycho. Esper's coming in for the third man. The slow bouncer just finds the post. Misty's going to be there for the zero boost tap away. Dives for his efforts. Esper gets him on the back. Now Psycho back over to Geordie once again. Geordie tries to get the flick. All too easy in that Dominus. But no height on it. Johnny's going to send that to middle. Instinct going for one of his classic bumps, but nobody's home. Misty back down to Instinct. Instinct back over to Misty. That's a slow meet from Geordie. But it's away in the end, and that's an open net.
Ooh, that's the
Geordie,
boomer.
I think it's just hitting the bar. Misty doesn't have the read. Geordie is going to put Portsmouth to 1 game away.
Big clear from Geordie. Reads that 50 nicely. Misty couldn't get the quick follow-up off the crossbar. And that gifts Geordie the open net. Portsmouth now 3-1. And Psycho's breaks are in fact about his controller, as he's requested another quick break after this one. But they are now on match point. 3-1 up, if I am... No, sorry, 3-2. But still match point.
Yeah. And I talked about the similarities between this series and the last. It's been exactly the same game for game. It's just been back and forth, starting with Portsmouth. So, if that's anything to go by, then Portsmouth should take this next game and win the series 4-2. But Nottingham putting up one hell of a fight in that. They just had almost unstoppable pressure for the last, I don't know how many minutes of that and it felt like it was their game to win. They just got caught out by that nice clear from Geordie.
Just couldn't quite put away the chances they were gifted in that early overtime. And then the overcommit ended up costing them. But to be fair, when you look at the stats, you would have expected Portsmouth to win this game. They put up 12 shots to only 5 from Nottingham, keeping them pegged back for a lot of the game. Not really too much in terms of, clear, dangerous play for a Nottingham Trent to deal with, but very much developed into a game of chess and just waiting for the slip up. And it came in overtime for Nottingham Trent. Now they need to win 2 successive games in a row to take this and move on to the grand finals. If not, we will see Portsmouth head on through and regain their spot in the grand finals in their attempt to retain the title of NSE champion.
Back-to-back champions would be a pretty impressive title for Portsmouth, considering, a few of their past finishes have been nowhere near. But, same could be said for Nottingham Trent. They came 15th, I think, in Winter Split, and before that didn't exist as a team. So, I keep saying it, I've said it on probably all of the broadcasts I've said this season, but the number of new teams that have come in and just taken the UK scene by storm is staggering.
Yeah, no one's actually retained their NSE title before either, so Portsmouth really trying to do the impossible here and regain theirs, as we're still waiting on Psycho to rejoin. Apologies for this little break. We want to make sure these players can play to the best of their abilities. So we will give him a few more minutes if required. But yeah, now with Nottingham Trent needing these 2 in a row, what's missing? We saw them take a lot more passive role in that game, and it almost worked, but they just couldn't quite put the ball to bed when it was needed.
I think I mentioned that they needed to adapt a little bit to almost adapt their own play style, because they play this hyper-aggressive game where they send up 3 players at a time so often that they're just being caught out by counterattacks, and we saw that was how the last game ended. I think they just need to keep focused, keep that objective in mind, don't get caught out at the back. That is all that they are missing in order to take this series.
Well, we now have the beginning of Game 6. This is 3-2 in favour of Portsmouth. Portsmouth just need to win this next one, and they are through. So it is all down to Nottingham Trent. That is a brilliant tap from Johnny, trying to get the pass through. Didn't quite work out, but positive signs so far at the start of this game.
Oh, Misty going up for a nice redirect angle as well, but Johnny's quite far up. Psycho not with any boost, can't make any kind of attack from it. Geordie can't get the connection. Johnny almost a bit of a panic clear, probably could have taken his time there. Psycho, not the bounce he was after. Esper onto the curve. Misty gets the nice tap away, he's going to follow that through to the corner. Manages to take out Psycho as well. Again, that key player off the pitch for a couple of crucial seconds. That's going to set up a shot chance for Johnny, but with just enough boost to meet the ball. Can't get any kind of convincing angle on it.
So far, very even once again, similar to the game 5 that we had. That's a big double commit, though. Fortunately for Nottingham Trent, no one on the Portsmouth side too close. Now coming back the other way, Instincts missed that, and Geordie, is it going to go in? No, it's just off the post. Oh. They get away with something again. Nottingham Trent just trying a little bit too much, and it will indeed them in the end as Esper gives Portsmouth the lead. 3:31 on the clock. Plenty of time for Nottingham Trent to fix their issues and go the other way, but they've really got to start sorting that out now.
And Psycho, another one of his crucial assists, one of his clutch assists that he's known for. Gets a little bit beaten out by Misty there. That leaves Geordie in an awkward spot, but reads the play well. Gets it nicely over Instinct. Psycho. Low hit, straight to Misty. Esper with the pinch. Gonna be able to follow that one, I think. Tries to go for the air dribble. That was almost a fantastic individual play from Esper.
Close chance, but well read from Johnny. And still not great signs coming through as Psycho looks for the crazy ceiling shot out. Couldn't quite get it, but Nottingham Trent always looking second best to the ball right now. Just struggling to find each other and really get some good offense going. Instincts decided to look for the demos. Psycho was savvy to that one and cut it out, well, dodged it nicely. Because if two players had lost their position for Portsmouth at the back there, that could have been very awkward. However, now an overextension allows Portsmouth to push forwards. And the time just slowly ticking away even more. It's getting more and more difficult with the time going down for Nottingham Trent to find their way back into this one.
Starting to see some more link-ups between the Trent players, but that's an enormous dunk from Psycho and Misty. Almost found its way into the onto the near post. Esper charging that one down the dunk, almost finding its way to the other top post. Portsmouth still looking for these chances despite being a goal up, but they don't want to overcommit. Geordie very smartly staying back, I think. Misty, not the pinch he's looking for, sends it way over the goal and straight to a waiting Esper. Instinct once again going for some more of these goal line demos. Maybe that's what they're missing as well. Just Instinct going for the demos, and his teammates don't know how to react when he doesn't.
Johnny was offered a lot of time in the midfield as he gets a good block there. They're just not taking the chances when they get given them. That's a great shot attempt from Tycho, but it comes off the post. That surely would have sealed the game at this rate, because Nottingham Trent's still just lacking an edge. They've only managed one shot so far. That's a great drop down, but no one there. They're still not yet risking everything. However, as I say that, that's a huge double commit. Geordie might be able to put this one to bed. Misty somehow gets that across the goal line.
So close from Misty. Now Instinct has the chance up off the backboard. Geordie onto the wall on Psycho. Johnny, tap that down. Esper's waiting in net though. Instinct.
Oh,
speaking now, that's another wide open net for not Portsmouth. Go 2 goals up in relatively easy fashion.
Just the third man commits really proving costly now. Not realizing that they're going to be second best to that ball, charging in. And that surely, unless Nottingham Trent suddenly switch on, it looks like Portsmouth will be taking this 4-2 and moving into that first grand final spot. The second semi-final is still to be played after this, but they will be securing this unless in 20 seconds their fate is miraculously changed by this Nottingham Trent team bringing it to Game 7. They're looking to get one, but Psycho will shut it down.
And that has to be it, I think, for Nottingham Trent. That was the opportunity, and Psycho, of course, it's that key player getting the save. The ball dropping just in front of the Portsmouth net. And in an exact mirror of the last series, Portsmouth take it 4-2.
Well played, Portsmouth. It's a shame Misty was back at home in Malaysia, because if not, this could have been a very different series. We will never know until maybe they meet again next year. But on regards to that, this is Geordie and Esper's final chance. Or is it just Geordie? Esper might be here another year. I'm not too sure on that, but Geordie is definitely graduating. So this is his last NSE, and he wants to go out in style. He wants to be one of the first ever players to make back-to-back, and Portsmouth are well on their way to do that. They've made the grand finals. They only have one best of 7 to go. But that won't be for a little while still. We still have the other semi-final to go, and that will be your previous game winners, University of West England, facing up against Lancaster. Any final thoughts on this game?
I think it was a terrific showing of adaptability from both teams, but particularly Nottingham Trent. They kind of had to rein in their own play style in order to try and get around Portsmouth, but in the end, Portsmouth have just proved why they are the last season's champions and proved why they're a serious contender to be this season's as well.
Well, we will now be heading for a short break before we bring you the final game of the night, the other semi-final bracket, Lancaster versus UWE. It should be a great one. You don't want to miss it. We will see you guys then.
fools. Serpents, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and it feels so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I had. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the NSE semi-final matchup between Lancaster and UWE Sea Stag. Sorry for that long break, we just had to switch over casters, but we are here now. I am Killsync and I am joined by Achonal.
Hello, good to be here. Left save the best till last. Both
Definitely.
casters and players, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see.
Definitely a difficult duo to take over from, especially with Princey and Drumsauce. Thank you very much for those first casting of the series.
Yeah, not
But
shoes I want to be.
For now, we're moving on to Lancaster versus WEC Stags. The matches between these guys has been quite an interesting matchup, really. Every single game they've played so far against each other has been sweeps, with UWE taking the most recent sweep against Lancaster in the EURC 2020 games. And then in the NSC weeks, however, Lancaster has swept UWE Sea Stags both times. Some interesting stats coming out from both teams as well. Lancaster, Tylacto #1 for scoring and second for assists in the league. They're the second highest scoring team behind Nottingham Trent, who we obviously know got beaten by Portsmouth, and the second most shots behind Nottingham Trent. They have the best defence in the league and allow the least amount of shots, but that's not really going to be much of a problem with UWE Sea Stags pulling in the worst shooting percentage of all of the playoff teams. They've got the second lowest goals per game, and they're only higher than Warwick, who obviously they have just previously beaten as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Lancaster deal with this, because obviously they're not going to have to do much on defense if UWE Sea Stags continue to play how they do. They've got, to be honest, probably one of the worst shootings so far, and one of the best defense. They're not a great defense because, ironically, Lancaster are the only team with a better defense. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a passing play we expect to see from both of these teams. But what are you expecting to come from these, Achonal?
Well, I think over the course of this season so far, the Sea Stags are one of the teams I've watched the most. And you're right, numbers don't necessarily lie. There's shooting disparities, there's lots and lots of weak offense from both sides. But at the same time, there have been moments where it's just been lights out offense from the Stags. And I think if they can pull that off, we'll have a much closer series. If they come out looking like we've seen them on their off days, should be pretty easy for Lankers to get through here.
Definitely, and without further ado, both teams are ready for this match, so we're going to get going straight in. UWEC Stags versus Lankers A, going to be a fantastic game. Hopefully not a sweep like they've done so far, just to give us a little bit of pleasure viewing, really. And a great kickoff start there from Sebanam, playing it early. DMAC off onto the side, straight over Jordan. Worrying defense there from UWEC Stags, but fortunately cleared out by Incognito.
Yeah, it's the kind of shaky start you would have expected maybe if you've been following the boys in blue throughout this series and this season. But I think obviously going into a best of 7, sweeps become almost exponentially less likely. I think we'll get at least 5 games out of this one.
Yeah, definitely. And a great 50 coming out from DMAC onto Incognito. Tylacto pushing it off into the corner. Sebanam not reaching it. This is going to be worrying. Tylacto trying to pass it down into the middle. Films coming up quick. But Incognito there with the save. DMAC pushing it straight into center. Nobody's there. Hits the corner post. A great demo coming out. But a block coming through from UWC Stag stops that play in its tracks. And that looked so worrying.
Yeah, hearts and mouths again if you're following UWE here. There's been some very shaky moments in this opening minute.
And great patience there from Films, waiting out his team. Tylacto trying to get this into the middle. Films just tripping him up. Tylacto pushing off onto the side. Sebanam easy push into the left-hand corner, but it's not really worthwhile. He's not got much boost to face here. He opts to go for middle, hoping Jordan can get the clear. Does so. Sebanam trying to challenge in the middle. Films is going to take his time here. Demo coming through from Sebanam makes it difficult, but Incognito playing it almost into his own area. And it's just looking like UWEC Stags are struggling a little bit on defense here.
Yeah, I think they're warming up slowly. This could be an opportunity. Of course, one thing I think it's fair to say we've seen from these guys is a lot of counter-attacking goals. If they manage to soak up the pressure, they'll turn on you very quickly. Sebanam plays the anchor. He'll launch balls long and hard, and both of the other players on this team have the capability to knock something in. So it could be tighter than we expect.
Yeah, definitely. UWC Stags leaves himself a little short on boost at the moment. Sebanam just picking up the 100 from the corner. He's going to look up for the demo on DMAC. Doesn't manage to get it. Films in goal. Easy clear. DMAC's going to go off to the side. He's going to look for a middle pass. Jordan just intercepting that early. He's going to look for the pass into Sebanam, and he might just be able to get it. But a great block coming through there from, I think it was Tylacto. Films going to look to clear this away. They really need to take the pressure off. UWC Stags giving them so much pressure in these few seconds that we've just seen.
Yeah, it was much better. Much better. We don't want them trapped in. Obviously, neutral viewing. We want offense from both sides, and UWE really showed us what they're capable of just then.
Definitely, and Jordan trying to put it centre for Sebanam, not able to do so. DMAC with a 0 boost, trying to flick it over Incognito. Probably not the best decision. He's going to be left a little bit boost starved now and needing to go back onto defense. Jordan not opting to go for the infield pass there. Maybe not the best choice. Sebanam there waiting. Sebanam looking to get it back into the middle, but Tylacto easy clears. Going to look to pinch it with the side. Does so. Gets it round 1. And this is where they're going to struggle. Tylacto having no boost. Films tries to come in to help him. Doesn't really get much of a touch. And again, we've seen play reset back into the centre, but nobody really taking their opportunities.
Nobody really getting control of opposing boost. Sebanam taking that corner in the last UWE push was really the only one we've seen. We see a team push out into offense very well, and then they run out of boost. They can't chase the high balls that they're lofting, and the other team can clear it along. Again here, well, there's plenty of boost in the backfield here for UWE. A more sustained push might be on the cards.
Definitely, and Films just looking to clear that right. Tylacto following up fast, and he beats out Incognito, but double commit from Lankers there makes it a little bit more difficult to score from that. Nobody to pass to into the center. We're looking at Films just trying to get that challenge on, manages to do so, jumps up, not really needed. Incognito there early. Tylacto stopping the play developing from that UWEC Stags offense, and he's going to look at doing it again, passing it over to Films. Films are going to look to the right to DMAC, but there is nobody there. DMAC's not quite there ready for it. And Films waiting upfield. Tylacto with a bump up, and Jordan trying to get it to Incognito. Incognito will be looking for the pass back to Sebanam, but nobody there to follow.
Trying too hard. Boys in blue getting a bit desperate, not having too much time on the ball, and they're trying something risky almost every time they get it. Although this one could work. Incognito rightly reluctant to commit as third man.
Yeah, definitely, and a great little defensive play there from Tylacto. Put it high. Sebadan will look for the shot now, putting it into the corner. Tylacto with a great save there, just stopping the play developing, baiting out Incognito up high on that wall as well, and he is pretty much just torn through this UWEC Stags defense, trying to get a 50, but Jordan coming in from behind, whacking it clear, making sure the pass doesn't go through to D-Mac, and does so brilliantly. Pass high off of the backboard from Film. Sebadam there, ready to commit, getting a demo onto Incognito. This could be really risky, but D-Mac not really in a great position there to do much with the ball. Is going to try looking to get it out. Sebadam with a great bump. Film's coming in to help out Tylacto.
Yeah, looks like the last push of this game is going to be for UWE unless the Lankers boys can get this out. That's a big misread from Sebadam, but Jordan puts it onto the backboard. Looks like we could have an overtime in our first game of the set.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. I don't think either teams really have taken their chances. The passes just aren't coming through. Nobody's finding each other, and they really need to change up both their play styles. Lanka's not playing like we're used to seeing them.
No, I think it's fair to say both teams starting slow, not really coming out with the kind of plays that we've seen from them in times gone by. And I don't think either team can really claim to have deserved to win that first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a great pass from Films to Tylacto in the middle. Films not able to get the touch. D-Mac looking to get a good 50 with Incognito there. Tylacto up early, dropping it back down for D-Mac, and this could be a great opportunity, but a great dunk coming in there from the UWEC Stags, just tipping it over and just making sure they're not able to get that shot on. That was so dangerous. If D-Mac had the boost, and Jordan with the goal, he gets the Doomsy dish. It's not the most fancy of one that we're seeing, but a misplay on defense from Films. Jordan following it straight up, managing to get the dish. Nobody on defense predicting that. D-Mac a little bit slow to challenge and puts it into what is basically an open net. UWEC Stags taking the first game 1-0 in overtime.
Yeah, I think, that was a good play from Jordan. Very speedy up the wall there, got there quickly, capitalised on the defensive mistake perhaps from Lankers there, leaving the net open, but neither team looking like we've seen them perform in the past.
Definitely not. We know how powerful Lanka's defense can be, and just there, that one little moment, Jordan pulled it apart. Nobody prepared for that. They were expecting a pass into center. Instead, Jordan just takes it solo and just says, well, I'm gonna absolutely destroy you, and does so. Even with the defense coming out from Lanka's, they just couldn't hold off.
Yeah, I think it was an impressive display considering what we were saying on the way into this match. The UWEC Stags soaked up a lot of pressure there, did very well to contain it. There's not many saves, but then not many shots coming out from Lankers. It's not often they're outshot, and it's not often that the Sea Stags outshoot anyone.
No, it's really not. And maybe that's what they've come into thinking. Maybe that's just their thought process this game. UWEC Stags, knowing full well Lanka's defense is solid, if they just take the few shots that they take most games, they're really not going to break through it. So this time, they're just trying to pepper it, trying to cause a little bit of a problem for the Lanka's defense, and they've done exactly that.
Yeah, I think, that's a very promising opening game for the boys in blue. If they can follow that up, I think there's every chance this series will go the distance.
Definitely, and a great kickoff there from UWEC Stags, from Jordan, trying to get a 50 onto D-Mac, not able to. D-Mac looking to take it a little bit slower. Great 50 in the middle there from Sebadam, looking to push it center. Films opting to go for the boost. Maybe not the best decision there. However, it does mean he can get a pretty decent clear out. Not to anybody, though. Jordan looking to play it center. Tylacto up early, beating out Sebadam. Absolutely no problem for him. Incognito pushing it off onto the side. Nobody really there, though, for the UWEC Stags, other than Incognito following up his own pass. Sebadam is going to look to pass it right. He doesn't. He actually opts for the shot. 3 defenders in goal for Lankers there. No real need to shoot. Jordan looking for the ceiling shot, not able to get anything from it.
Yeah, both teams again taking a little while to settle into their rotations, find the boost. Again here, Orange very low, only D-Mac really with anything, and that could be awkward for Tylacto. He manages to do well on the backboard clear.
Yeah, Tylacto's recovery there, absolutely fantastic. Managing to get the ball cleared as well. Now we're going to be seeing Films trying to take it, but again, a little bit of a misplay there from Films, being a little bit slower than we're used to seeing him. He's passed it down to Tylacto. Tylacto with a great flick. Incognito, really the only person left on defense. Good 50. Films is going to look to put it into the corner, trying to get a pass off. Not able to do so. Incognito with the block. Jordan with the clear. And Tylacto following this up quickly. It's gone off to the backboard. Films following up a little bit too close there. Easy clear for Sebadam with a pinch off onto the wall, leading the play forward for UWEC Stags.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that I think UWE are playing the same as they did in this first game, but now their defense, rather than looking panicky, it looks confident. Having seen them pull it off once before, you have more faith in them that they can soak up this pressure again. Although, of course, inviting offense from Lancashire is not perhaps the best idea.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a great pass coming through from Tylacto to Films. Unfortunately, Films not able to get anything from this. DMAC very patient there on the jump, knows he's got the time to try and clear it. Films coming in, trying to get a 50 with Sebadam, does so brilliantly. Trying to get another 50, but both players missing the ball there. I'm not entirely sure that was intentional. DMAC's going to be looking here, and the demo coming through. Nothing for fruition, though. No one able to capitalize on that at all. DMAC trying to challenge Jordan there, and this is where it could be risky, and he pops it just to the right-hand side. Incognito baiting out Films for the pre-challenge. Doesn't manage to get it. The jump there just a little bit too early allows Incognito to see where he's going. Right hand side of the goal, nobody there to defend. 1-0 to UWEC Stags, 2 minutes 45 remaining.
Yeah, it's fantastic play from them again. I like the way that both teams, in fact, when they get on offense, the first thing they're doing is hunting for that third man. They're looking for a demo or a bump to just knock the rotation off. And so far, UWE have had a lot more success with that. Because again, Tylacto's doing it there, but the ball's already over Lancaster's heads. And that's going to be 2 as Jordan puts in a second.
And it is 2, and DMAC is not going to be happy with the read on the backboard there. He was there, he had the prime position to save it, didn't quite manage to get it. Jordan able to put it into an open goal, even puts it close to Films, but Films had absolutely no chance to catch that one. They're not going to be happy with the way that they've just spent those past 15 seconds. 2 goals to the good, 2 minutes 30 remaining. Do you really think that Lancers can bring this game back? Do they look like they have a chance in this game?
Like this? No, but then of course this isn't what most people would describe as Lanca's aim. I think there's a gear here that's not quite being reached, and I think if they can find it, they've got plenty of time, of course, best of 7. Loads of time left to try and iron out some rotational mistakes that we've seen so far, and I think if they can find any improvements, it will become a much closer series.
Yeah, definitely. And we're seeing Films just clearing that high wide. Incognito trying to get it centre. Again, Incognito and Films both missing the ball there. DMAC, good challenge off into the corner, but Sebadam's going to be able to take this easy. And a good 50 from him. And another attempted 50 does mean a pinch is going dangerously towards that Lancers goal. And a difficult clear there from Films. Tylacto making sure there's no real pressure coming back from that. A pass into centre. Incognito will be there. Pushing it off into Sebadam. He'll probably look to go up the wall. Doesn't. Stays down instead, and another challenge attempted to come through from Incognito, and the UWEC Stags defense here running a little slow. Almost seems like they're all low on boost here, which I think they are. And it's going to be really difficult. DMAC with the steal of that boost. Unfortunately, Film's not really able to do anything from this. He's going to look a bump in Incognito, does so fantastically, and a Tylacto pinch heads towards goal, but Sebadam easy clear.
Yeah, it's fantastic. UWE doing well here, soaking up the pressure, getting the long clears, and dismantling this Lancers defense that is looking very shaky at the moment.
And that was phenomenal play there from Sebadam. We have to give credit to him here. This fake was phenomenal. Doing stuff like this on the wall, getting the bump on Tylacto, keeping him down. Jordan knowing that he's doing that. Comms clearly perfect between them. Jordan following up so quickly. Even though Lancers A there had 3 players on the defense, nobody able to stop it. 3 goals to the good, 1 minute remaining. This is almost feels sealed this game for UWEC Stags.
Yeah, I think this is, unless Lancers can pull off one of the best comebacks we've seen all season, this is effectively a 2-game lead for the boys in blue here, and they might get another. No one pressing this. It's an alarming lack of defensive pressure from Lancashire here.
Yeah, definitely, and we see it quite a bit from this team sometimes, and not too much pressure coming through. They're good on defense, so that's what they're trying. DMAC trying to get that 50, trying to keep the play alive for them, but it's really just not working. Tylacto pinch off into the corner. He's going to look at trying to get a 50 with Incog. Does so. Sebadam up really early there, getting off the ball. Not really the best decision, but Jordan in goal, ready to save that, ready to stop all of the momentum that Lancers were carrying with them. 10 seconds remaining, and this is a wipeout on this match. 3-0 UWEC Stags absolutely dominated in this particular game.
Yeah, it's a fantastic display. Absolutely amazing. I think fair to say 2 games was probably beyond what most people would have predicted UWE to take in this series, and to have them as a lead puts so much pressure on Lancers here. Really, they have 1 more life and they've got to win 4, and I think that will be preying on their minds, and you hope for their sake that it doesn't cause them to crumble.
Yeah, definitely. And we have to give credit here to Jordan. He's been playing so fantastic so far, so fast, so dominant. We expect to see Tylacto and Sebadam being the two kind of lead players from UWEC Stags and Lancashire respectively. However, in this particular game, Jordan has just wiped out Lancashire. In both games, he's taken goals that Lancashire just did not see coming. He's taking the risks, he's pushing up forward, he's trusting his teammates, and it's something that we're just not seeing from the Lancashire team at the moment.
No, it's a lack of trust. You're right, it is on the offense. They're going for solo plays, and of course they're very mechanically gifted, the boys in orange, but it's not working. The Sea Stags are just soaking it up and hitting them on the counter, getting great fakes, great bumps, and just all-around cohesive team play. I think we're going to need to see a bit more of that from Films 3 and the rest before anything happens for Lancashire here.
Definitely, and we need to give a nod here to UWEC Stags having 9 shots, and Lancashire having none. They had no shots in that game. That is just something we just don't really see from Lancashire. We know that they're solid on defense, but that particular game, we just saw nothing coming through from them. They were making no passes infield, they were making no passes off of the backboard, and everything UWEC Stags was doing was just right, and everything Lancashire's doing just felt wrong. And it's just unfortunate. We know they're capable of pulling off some absolutely wonderful plays, but in this case, they just weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I think perhaps certainly you count it on one hand the amount of times that Lancashire will have been completely shut out on offense in a game this series, or this season even. And I think, if the Sea Stags can keep playing like this, I don't see a way back for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's all coming down to the abilities of the players to keep their calm and to keep their nerves. We've seen some really quite questionable defending from this Lancashire team at the moment, and just really they just haven't looked like the Lancashire team we know them to be, and hopefully this picks up before the end of this game, otherwise they're going to struggle. But a great pass coming through from Films, and again, nobody there for Lancashire, and that was a phenomenal opportunity. Absolutely fantastic pass, tore through this UWE defense, and just nothing. Films with a great shot on there. Unfortunately for him, not able to get it in, and I think we've actually seen Films change car. I believe he was playing in a Fennec before, and he's actually gone to an Octane. So a little bit of a change up from him, hoping to get a different kind of feel for the car, and hopefully he will do so. But a great pass coming through from Sebadam, cutting out Films early, and we were saying it just then, maybe you'll get a different feel, but the speed just wasn't quite there. Sebadam beating him out, coming right over the top. Jordan there, the amount of trust Jordan had for Sebadam there to get that clear. He stayed upfield, even though a Lancashire player was in the midfield, stayed up, perfect cherry pick, and gets an easy open goal. 1-0 to 1-0 to UWC Stags, sorry. We've got 45 seconds gone.
Yeah, and I mean, the Sea Stags aren't playing perfectly. There's been whiffs, there's been mistakes. It's not been absolutely blinding Rocket League, but Lancashire overcommitted. They tried to catch them out because the defense looked shaky at the beginning of this game 3. They tried to catch them out, they overcommitted, and again, on the counter, UWE made them pay.
Definitely, and Films here trying to take it out, is going to look to try and pass it, but there's nobody there. Again with the miss, Incognito taking it. He has gone really far up this pitch. Films needs to get back. He's left his team in a difficult situation, and in doing so, it's going to be a struggle. Fortunately for them, UWE not able to capitalise, but that was a risky decision there from Films, going all the way upfield when his team still needs him, and Tylacto not in a position to save this. Sebadam putting it over the top, and this all stemmed from Films going too far up the pitch, leaving 2 men in defense. You can't be doing that against a team like UWC Stags, who are just so consistent at this kind of play, and they absolutely tore Lancashire apart in that attack.
I don't know if Tylacto was expecting a rotation back in behind from Films. If he was, it wasn't there, and if he wasn't, he was far too far forward. It was an easy pick for a player of Sebadam's quality to just loft that over his head. And you're right, this is just, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
You really do. And 2 goals
falling apart.
2 goals in the same manner. Nobody really on defense in the correct position in goal for Lancashire. Incognito just tipping it over the top. Did exactly what Sebadam did to Tylacto, but this time Incognito doing it to Films. And it just feels like UWEC Stags have all the momentum in this game. Lancashire haven't felt like they've been in it at all in this game, and we were really hoping to see something different.
Yeah, I mean, you do see it a fair amount in all sorts of Rocket League tournaments. That UWE, I think a big part of their advantage, it's fair to say, is that they've had the chance to warm up. They played already. They dispatched Warwick 4-2 not long ago, in fact. And having that series play, high caliber practice has really done them a lot of good, because this Lancers team coming into it cold are noticeably cold.
Yeah, definitely. And a clear coming through from DMAC, an attempted shot. Trying to bump Jordan on the way out. Incognito seeing that, coming to his rescue. Jordan, great clear downfield. I think at the moment it's just DMAC back in defense, but he's able to get a good clear there. Sebadan will look to try and get the 50 on DMAC, bait him in, and he does so perfectly. And this is where they're going to struggle. 2 on defense with a phenomenal UWEC Stags attack and a pass into center. Tylacto reading that well, just managing to stop Incognito being able to get any form of shot on there. Jordan jumping up early, not really any need, but both players on the Lancers defense they're missing. Unfortunately for them, nobody on the follow-up from UWEC Stags means that there is not a 4th goal coming through.
The Sea Stags don't need a 4th. They're doing fantastically well. I might have just cursed them. They were doing fantastically well. DMAC gets 1 back on the kind of defensive wobble that's normally been seen by the boys in orange so far this series. A good bump by Tylacto. But there's still life in this game 3.
It's still great speed there from Tylacto coming through, managing to get it past 1, past the 2nd. Incognito, unfortunate with the jump there, just dropping it straight down into the middle for DMAC. And he is going to need that goal just to reset mentally, because he just doesn't seem like he's playing himself at the moment.
No, you're right. I think a statement play, some kind of big goal from the Lancers boys would really do a lot to put them back into this series, even if it doesn't win them this game. Although this is one that they'll take.
Yeah, they're definitely taking that one there. All 3 of UWEC Stags up in the opponent's third. They really don't all need to be there. They're 2 goals to the good, and with DMAC just being able to do a simple dribble in there, they're now 1 goal to the good, and 1 minute 26 remaining. Anything can happen now.
You run the risk here. The UWE boys, it'll be a mental landmine if they lose this game. To have a 3-goal lead with less than 2 minutes to go, you don't want to lose that, but
a big miss coming in from DMAC and a miss coming through from Jordan. You expect to see him converting opportunities like that. Nobody in defense. DMAC with the whiff. Unfortunately for him, he's saved by Jordan's nerves. It almost felt like he was just a little bit worried somebody might be there. They weren't, and he just didn't take the time that he could have taken. And unfortunately for them, it has led to still a 1-goal lead, and they need to try and get this back if they're going to be able to do anything, because the attack coming through now from Lancers is going to be dangerous. Tylacto coming through for the attempted bump. DMAC with the flick. It's gone high. Film's trying to come through. DMAC trying to get a 50. It's gone left. It's gone right. There's no one in the goal, but it just can't go in there.
Oh, the defence at 6s and 7s here, running very low on boost. This needs to be a good clear, and it isn't. Sebadan managed to get a fantastic continuation into space, but Films has got it. Lancers have reset with the boost. That's a good shot from DMAC. Incognito, very awkward, but Sebadan makes a fantastic clear.
Yeah, it's a great shot from DMAC. Film's just a little bit slow committing to that one. He won't be too happy. He knows he had the opportunity to score there. Jordan putting it centre for Sebadan. Sebadan not able to get it past Tylacto. Great block there from him. Films with the miss on the backboard. That's pretty much going to seal the game now. UWE will be able to put this down, hopefully. DMAC keeping the hopes alive, and Sebadan putting it straight down, saying that we want to take this, we want to sweep.
Wow. If anyone in chat saying they saw this coming, they're lying. I think it's fair to say no one would have predicted a 3-0 lead for the UWEC Stags here. Lancers have been by far and away the best team throughout this season. I think it's fair to say they've been top every week. They ended up top by a very high margin, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was a record-breaking number of points that they scored in this league play. And to be dispatched 4-0 would be an absolute sort of disgrace, really, to their performance so far. It wouldn't do them justice whatsoever.
Yeah, but we did see the Loughborough reverse sweep in the semi-finals versus Salford last season. You don't want to mention it, but we did need to mention it. The fact of the matter is, it was 3-0. 3-0 to Salford, and they managed to lose 4-3. Now, if that can happen with them, we know Lancers is a top-tier team. We know they're capable of doing it. So if anyone's going to do it, it is them. But do we really think mentally they can reset well enough here to pull off that feat against UWEC Stags? Because at the moment, it has been a dominant performance from UWE. Credit to them. They have converted most of the chances they've had, and they've done it with flair.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been, more than anything, I think it's fair to say that it would have to be more than just Lankers getting better. I think the Sea Stags would have to start getting a bit worse. They'd have to start playing increasingly like they were towards the end of that game 3, where they had a few jitters and a bit of nerves. But I think it's fair to say that an improvement from Lankers would have to be massive to make a difference without some kind of corresponding drop in performance from the Sea Stags here.
Yeah, the Sea Stags would have to start playing tremendously different to the way they currently are. Just because at the moment, UWE Sea Stags, everything they're doing is just absolutely tearing through the Lankers defense. But we're just going to have a little reset here. Sorry, guys. Unfortunately, they've been having a little bit of trouble in the match, in joining the games. We're just going to restart this game, and we'll get straight back into it.
I think this is the break. This is the break that perhaps Lankers were searching for. I think it will give them good opportunity to reset, to get back on track, play the kind of Rocket League that we've seen from them from the rest of this season, because so far it's not really emerged.
Yeah, but obviously we know that UWE Sea Stags are capable of sweeping this Lankers team. They've done so only maybe a week ago, I think it was.
Yeah,
again, they might now do it in the NSE, and it would be, you would almost feel bad for Lankers if this happened. A double sweep in 2 different places, NSE and EURC, to have that done against the same team is going to be heartbreaking. But as we've said, these teams have only swept each other so far. So if that goes to show anything, UWE Sea Stags are on for a 4-0.
They are, and their performance would indicate that as well, pending some massive change from one team or the other. But I think UWE, more so than virtually any other team in the NSE, seem to have Lankers' number here. They're playing, I can't really pinpoint what it is about their play style, but they seem to really sort of stifle this Lankers offense. We saw a game where they had no shots, and of course Lankers haven't been playing to 100% of the capabilities of what we've seen from them in the past, but I think credit where credit's due to the Sea Stags for just shutting them down on all sides of the ball.
Definitely, and we're seeing the game get underway again now. All players have joined. It's going to be Jordan facing off against DMAC for the kickoff. DMAC with a good flip, but Jordan winning out that one. Films opted to go for boost. He's left the ball to Incognito. Incognito aiming to get a second touch, not able to get any sort of play coming from that. And Tylato's looking to get it middle. A big miss coming out from him, though. And Films following up quickly, trying to get it onto the sidewall. And this is where it's going to be a bit of a problem. Films going for those bump plays. He has 0 boost, though. That can be risky. DMAC with a great turn. Great pass there from Tylato. But no boost from him is going to mean no play coming from it.
Fantastic continuation from Jordan, and he very nearly got back to it. 2 touches is all it needs. All UWE needs to break out and set something up that could potentially have been very dangerous.
Yeah, Film's going for a very, very risky hit there. And again, it's going to leave it to no one but Incognito with a miss hit there. He's not going to be happy. He knows he's capable of scoring those, and he really would have liked to have done it. A great demo coming through onto DMAC. Films left to try and clear this off of the backboard. Does so to Tylacto. Tylacto passing it upfield, not really getting it to anybody. Bumping Sebadam on his way out. Films and Sebadam both missing the ball. Incognito playing it far into the corner of this Lankers defense, and a demo coming through means no play coming forward for UWE.
But Incognito's done fantastically well. Not only did he take the ball into the corner and buy his team so much time to set up on offense, he then challenged on the return and bought them even more time on defense. It might not be enough. He does fantastically again to make the save.
Yeah, and that was a great bump coming through there from DMAC onto Films. He actually sped him up enough to try and get some sort of play going, but nothing coming to fruition for this team still. Incognito trying to get the clear there. DMAC is going to challenge all of the team from UWE Sea Stags, just letting it go. Films trying to get a good read on, but not able to. And again, he's taking himself out of the play a little bit, and Jordan with the bump down on him, and this could be great, but Films just coming through very quickly there for the block. Sebadam up early, trying to challenge Films, and you're going to see Incognito trying to challenge or demo DMAC. They're happy with either, and a bump coming through on Films from Jordan, meaning nobody's in the play, and an attempted block there coming through from Incognito onto Tylacto, but Tylacto not able to squeeze it under the crossbar.
They're getting faster. There's a couple of double commits still that need to be ironed out, but Lancers are definitely getting faster in this game 4. It's the panic. They're beginning to realise that they've only got one shot left at this.
Yeah, definitely. And Lancers still not playing the way we're used to seeing them play. They're still very, very much aggressive, where we're used to see them quite defensive, a lot of passing plays, but just their Films just relinquishing position to his opposition, making nothing of the play. A big miss from DMAC coming out. Fortunately for him, Tylacto there to try and block it. And from UWEC Stags, nobody following up. Demo from DMAC. He's going to look to pass it center. Doesn't get a great one. And another double commit. Tylacto off onto the platform. Films trying to drop it down, and he does. Surely. And Films just managing to drop it over the top of Jordan. Jordan with the attempted great save, but a double commit coming through from Incognito and Sebadam there. And again from Sebadam. Panicking a little bit on that defense. Jordan with almost a fantastic save, but Films too powerful. Just pushing it through. 1 goal to the good. 2 minutes 10 remaining.
That's all they need. It is all they need. They're more than halfway through. They have the lead. If they can keep it, it doesn't have to be pretty. They can work on that in the next game. They just need to not lose. That's all Lancers need at this point. And if they can do that, they might come back into this series.
Definitely, but I think now Lancers have got the opportunity. Films with the open goal. A miss from Jordan on the back wall means Films is presented with the easiest open net he's going to see this entire NSE. And he has punished it. Jordan, he will be looking to do much better than that, but he knows he can. He's been playing so well so far. That one little miss is really not going to trip him up too much, but this is the pressure that Lancers needed to get back into this game.
If you didn't know better, you could have said that break would have been the team swapping cars. They've just completely switched in this game 4. It's so much more confident from the Lancers boys, and they make it 3.
And this is what we like to see. Films coming through, pass to himself off of the left wall, pass back into the corner to DMAC. DMAC following that up. Doesn't matter how many players from UWEC Stags are trying to defend it. He's popped it into the right hand side, and absolutely no chance for the UWEC Stags. 3-0 to Lancers, a 1 minute 32 remaining, and it's complete opposite. And we could be seeing 4-0 baiting out Sebadam, but Tylacto not with a great finish, but DMAC with the follow up. 4-0, 1 minute 26 remaining, and this is all Lancers this game.
And it's all Lancers needed as well. It's commanding victory this in game 4, and I may have jinxed them. I said in the interim between the last game and this one that it would have to be both Lancers getting better and the Sea Stags getting worse, and I think it's fair to say that both of those things have happened so far in this game 4.
Yeah, they've definitely happened. UWEC Stags trying to get a pass into centre. They're not able to do so. Tylacto just shutting down Jordan pass off the sidewall. Sebadam trying to get a 50, does so quickly. But Tylacto so fast on that follow-up, and that is something they've been missing. But DMAC with a miss again. He's not going to be happy. He's missed 100% of those bat ball reads, I think, this game. And he is really not going to be happy with that percentage.
And again, look, this is the kind of thing that we were seeing from Lancers up until this point. There's a ball lofted high, a ball lofted into the offensive half. No one to pressure it. When they do pressure it, they're beaten out by the defenders. You could genuinely be forgiven for thinking they've just swapped cards.
Definitely. Jordan with the attempted pass over there, but passing it to nobody. And Tylacto going for another pass. Incognito a little bit slow to react to that one. You almost thought it was going in. DMAC with a great 50. Tylacto's going to try and follow this, but he just can't. DMAC still there a little bit too quickly. He's looking for the flip reset, not able to get it, and that would have been a monster play if he'd have got that one.
That's the kind of statement play you need, but I think this is enough of a statement. If you're on Orange team here, 4-0 doesn't look like UWE are going to get any goals out of this game, and they'll have to really reset if they want to get back on track in game 5.
Definitely, and the consistency from all of the Lancers team this game is really showing. This is the Lancers we like to see. This is the Lancers we came to see, and this is the Lancers they're now showing us, and it is phenomenal.
This is not the Lancers you want to see if you're on the blue side, however. This is going to be a big worry for Sebadam and co here.
Yeah, definitely. Sebadam, Incognito, and Jordan all performing a little bit worse than they've performed in the previous game. Still consistent, but nevertheless, you just can't take the amount of time they're taking against a team like Lancers when they're playing at their best. This is Tylacto, Films, and DMAC at their finest right now. And if they continue like this, we could actually be seeing a reverse sweep coming out.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if my maths is correct, that's as many shots in game 4 as in the first 3 games for Lancers there. That's 9 on this one game, and it showed. They've got their 4 goals, and they shut out UWEC Stags in much the same way that they've been shut out so far in the series.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we're going to be looking, obviously, at going into this game. I believe it's game 5 now. And from the first 3, we really thought UWEC Stags just had that. It just looked like they had it. It didn't look like they were threatened at all by Lankers. And then that game, UWEC Stags, I don't know what happened, but you just can't play like that. You cannot play as you just did against a team like Lankers A, assuming they're not going to be playing at their best, because they've just came out and showed you that even going 3 games down, they can still dominate.
Definitely. I think perhaps UW took their foot off the gas there. Lankers, obviously, backs against the wall, had to pull out all the stops. And it'll be interesting to see now if UW are panicked into going back to the team we saw in the first 3 games.
Yeah, but as we say that, Sebadam coming through with a potentially early goal, but misreads the corner hit there. Unlike Sebadam completely, but Films up early trying to get this touch off of the back wall. Jordan able to cut it out very quickly. It was slow off of the backboard, and Incognito with a difficult hit here. Tylacto letting Films go for that. Jordan just hitting it back to Tylacto, but Tylacto with the 0 boost, and he has taken himself out of the play now. Great pinch there from DMAC, and a bump coming through is going to mean Films is getting it close, not able to put it on, but DMAC has gone too far back. He's got 0 boost, he just can't follow. But here, Tylacto leaving it to DMAC, not the best decision. DMAC with the 0 boost still, and Films with a great 50 in the midfield.
It's fantastic awareness from Films. Realised he wasn't going to get it round Sebadam or under him, so he just whacked it off the ceiling. And unfortunately for him, there wasn't a Lankers player directly underneath that ball to have the free shot that it created.
And Sebadam going for the backwards air dribble off of his back wall. Films coming in with a great 50 there. Incognito clearing it off his back wall again. DMAC just clearing that off into the centre. Quite risky. Tylacto having to go up quite early for that one. And Films with the misread here. And this could be problematic. Fortunately for him, nobody following up from that UWEC Stags team. And it does mean Tylacto can get a relatively easy clear, but there's still pressure on here. Going onto the backboard. Nobody there to clear it. Sebadam trying to hit it back. And Jordan with the second follow. Nobody there. And this is risky now. Films trying to get the 50 onto Sebadam, does so. It's going up high into the midfield. Incognito needing to put that onto his own backboard to clear with the help of Sebadam.
Backboard defense is the saviour of this UWE side. It's the one thing that they can do consistently and powerfully while they're behind the ball, is get a massive clear off their own backboard, launch it down and change the play. They didn't see as much of it in game 4 because Lankers started passing, which means they were looking for each other on the ground and not really using the backboard as much. But this game they seem to have more chances to use it, and it's a much more even fight so far.
Yeah, it does almost feel like Lankers have gone a little bit back to their old attacking ways from game 1, 2 and 3, but their defense is holding up a lot better this game. So it's not as challenging for them. But at the same time, great bump coming in from Films, but Jordan able to get that touch, and Tylacto with the follow-up not able to get it, and this is where we see a bit of a risk. Films with a great shadow defense, great challenge there, just holding off the UWE attack for long enough for his team to get back, and Incognito leaving it for Sebadam. Sebadam also leaving it for Jordan, but Jordan here is going to have a bit of a problem. Incognito needing to bail him out, gets the miss though, and here Tylacto trying to push it off into centre, and Incognito going for the shot. He's gone up early, trying to get a pass off of that backboard, but he's missed. Films getting the big clear off onto the left-hand side.
Yeah, that was very close. I don't think UWE realised that net had an opening in it when they shot that. And if they did, I think they'd like to have that one again.
Yeah, definitely. Sebadam going to look to clear it before Tylacto to get the opportunity. Jordan trying a little backflip, trying to get it onto the target. Doesn't do so. DMAC's going to get an easy clear here, but Sebadam getting up really early, reading that play absolutely perfectly. Incognito not really passing it to anybody there. Sebadam forced to turn for that. And Jordan jumping, misplay there from Jordan. Incognito should be able to get an easy clear off onto his backboard there. Film's going to look to put it middle for DMAC. DMAC pushing up a little bit too far there. Sebadam, easy clear. Going to look to get the 50 with Tylacto. Does so. It goes centre, but DMAC up early. Not managing to get a hit on that. Incognito expecting him to touch it, and he just doesn't.
Oh, I think both teams are beginning to feel a little bit nervous here. They've both made uncharacteristic misses, got into good positions, and then not quite had the final product. That's going to be awkward again for DMAC, but he makes this one.
And Sebadam pushing it into the corner, trying to get a pass into centre, but nobody there, so it wouldn't really have mattered. And Jordan almost getting a double touch there. So close, not great defending, from Lankers,
what a
and as I
save.
say that, fantastic save coming through from Tylacto, but Incognito trying to pepper this goal right now, not able to get it on target. DMAC needs to clear this, doesn't do so. Sebadan pushing it center
pass.
for Jordan putting it just over the net, and DMAC needs to clear, but he doesn't, opt for the demo instead. Tylacto looking to get it high and far off of his backboard. Sebadan will look to put it back in center. Films jumping early, he's baiting him out so much, looking for the 50. Doesn't get a great one there. DMAC, perfect 50, just what he would have wanted. And Lankers really need to get this ball out of their area. They are struggling right now.
This is not the kind of position you want to find yourself in as time ticks down, because they're running out of boost and they're running out of options as Sevenam comes in, but it's a fantastic backward save from DMAC there.
And this UWEC Stags is just putting us completely on edge with that little bit of play right there. They were just absolutely hammering that goal, and Lankers, so many saves in that final few moments. I think they got 4 saves maybe in those final few 30 seconds, and it was unbelievable that they managed to keep their composure, keep their nerves, and not pressure too far. DMAC, almost a great hit there, and Films pre-jumping, leaving one player back in defense. That is risky to do, but fortunately for them, Tylacto able to keep his composure, able to keep his mental stability, and not pressuring too quickly. Great decision.
Yeah, I think Lankers will be counting their lucky stars that they made it to this overtime, but of course we're still going to make the most of it. We haven't had a goal yet in this game 5. We're back to the situation we saw in game 1.
Definitely, and Tylacto putting it onto the backboard. Great clear from Incognito. We said how consistent it's been with the backboard defense. Sebadam looking to take it high, and this is where we danger Sebadam. Fortunately for the Lankers team, bumped, but Films and Tylacto bumping each other, taking each other out of the play. Great pass into center, but it's a great pass to the opposition, and this is risky now. Sebadam needing to get this clear, needing to get the 50, doesn't, pass over to Films and go into DMAC, as DMAC with the goal, putting it over the top, and this was a great team play. Tylacto off onto the side, 2 Films for the center, off onto the top, and DMAC coming in just over the top of Incognito. Films almost saving it, to be fair, but nevertheless 1-0 Lankers, and we're seeing a 3-2 game. They played so well defensively and then brought it onto attack.
I think this is the first time both teams have shown up to the same game. I think it's fair to say it was all UWE 1-3. Lankers took game 4 in commanding style, but in game 5, both teams had a crack. UWE had their opportunities, they just couldn't quite convert them. Nor could Lankers for the majority of that game, and they were really put on pressure on defense towards the end, but they managed to hold out till overtime and got a, on reflection, perhaps deserved win.
Yeah, definitely. And UWEC Stags, those first 2 games, they were so dominant. Lankers just didn't look like they were in it. And the third game, even for UWEC Stags, even though they won it, they were looking a little less dominant. Lankers still coming back into it. Okay, they still absolutely dominated them overall, but Lankers looked like they were getting into it. And then these past 2 games, Lankers have just been all over it. Even with the pressure coming through from UWEC Stags, their offense was arguably better that game than Lankers A was. But the offense from Lankers A in the overtime was what mattered, and they absolutely crushed it. They killed them. And unfortunately, server has gone down for maintenance, so we're going to be taking a very short break. But it won't be very long. It'll be back up as soon as we possibly can. But it's just unbelievable. I really thought the UWC Stags were going to sweep that 3-0, and now I really think Lankers can reverse sweep.
Yeah, I think it's very much a possibility at this stage. But of course, you know, UWE just have to get one moment. You know, they've shown that they can hold on defense very well. They just need to get that one. You know, it could be luck, it could be any number of strange bounces or fantastic solo plays. One moment could win it all for UWE.
Definitely. And Incognito facing off against Films for the kickoff. Films passing it left to Tylacto on that kickoff is risky to do against high-level teams, but a great pass coming off onto the backboard, and DMAC with the follow-up, and that is the DMAC we know and love. This pass from Tylacto, absolutely sublime challenge coming through from Jordan. I'm not able to reach that, and DMAC's power on that shot was unbelievable. Great start there from the Lankers team. 1-0 up with 8 seconds gone.
It was fantastic play. Absolutely brilliant placement from DMAC. There were very few other spots he could have placed that to ensure a goal there for his Lankers team.
Definitely, and we spoke about how risky it was. Films doing that kickoff, risking pushing it to the side, but he did so brilliantly. But a miss from him, and Sebadam with a very unconventional hit there. Didn't need to push it as far as he did. Not sure it's the shot he was going for. D-Man pushing his center for Tylacto. Sebadam coming up early. Incognito needs to clear this out. He needs to take that pressure off of his team because UWE at the moment are struggling a little bit.
Again, nervy from both teams. DMAC makes a misread there. Films made one just now on the backboard. Another team looking completely confident as DMAC again has one sail over his head.
And that is a risky hit into the center from Jordan, but a side flip from Film sees him going past the ball, and it is unfortunate. DMAC up early, nobody there. It's more just a clear than it is anything else, and Films again more just with a clear than a natural passing play, but a great pass center from Tylacto. Films wasting the opportunity there. DMAC's going to need to get a good 50 here. Sebadam and Incognito both following up. Great pass into center for Sebadam. Sebadam reads these well normally, but he doesn't manage to get a touch. DMAC just baiting out the hit there from him. Neither players making contact. Unfortunately for them, UWEC Stags not able to make any sort of play, but a double touch coming off of the backboard here to a pass to center, and nobody following up again. And Tylacto happy to clear that one out.
Sebadam and Incognito are getting tied up on each other a bit here. It's a couple of times already this game that they've gone for the same ball, and it's putting them a little bit on the back foot when it comes to setting up proper offensive pressure in the Lancers half.
And just as we say that, Tylacto getting a fantastic pass over all of the UWEC Stags defense, but nobody from Lancers there ready. And again, great pass into the middle. He's looking for a block, doesn't get it. Films up there anyway, doesn't matter. Incognito with a great pass towards center. Tylacto going up early, making sure nothing comes from it, but again, passing back in, and now we're seeing the pressure come through from UWEC Stags. We hadn't seen it so far. Films with a rushed jump there. Fortunately for him, works out. Tylacto nearly getting bumped there by Sebadam. Sebadam trying it, not able to do so. Films with a great 50. It's gone straight into the center. Tylacto will be able to get this one. He's popped it onto the backboard. If Incognito can't get this, it's going to be risky, but he can. Manages to clear it, clears it to Jordan. Jordan not managing to make any contact.
Again, it's that fantastic backboard play. UWE consistently launching clears off their backboard. Lancers don't seem to have wised up to it just yet.
The Lancers, they are just not rushing anything at the moment. They are trying to keep as composed as possible, but a double commit coming out from Jordan, and Sebadam is going to leave Incognito on his own. If Films can get this jump here, and he might just be able to get it, can't get the block for, unfortunately, and a big 50 coming through. Big dunk, like you say. Tylacto there, ready for it though. Sebadam trying to put it center, nobody for his team following up. Films popping a little drop down to Tylacto, and it's a great little doink, taking it over his team, and Sebadam with a big clear, very needed. Jordan looking to follow that.
Oh, big demo. That's awkward for Films, but he manages to get there. Is it enough? It is. That was fantastic play. And Sebadam got the whole left side of that goal to aim at. Probably didn't realise that he did. Again, UWE perhaps only lacking awareness. They've got the skill, they just aren't noticing opportunities pass them by.
Definitely, and this is risky. Incognito off his own backboard. Didn't mean to get that kind of touch. Jordan needed to clear it out, and here we're going to be seeing DMAC. He has to make this hit. He struggled with those all game, all series, and this one time he needs to make it, he makes it perfectly. Fantastic mental stability there from DMAC. He has reset so much since his first game. He looked like he was struggling, and now he just doesn't.
Yeah, it's been, I think, you can sum up this series. You could almost tell which side of the game you were looking at.
And a great shot coming through from Films. And I think we need to give more credit here to, I think, Tylacto. The fake coming through on Sebadam. Oh. And Sebadam is just not expecting it. I don't know if it mattered. Sebadam was always going to struggle with that. Films with a great position in putting it to the right-hand side. 2-0 to Lancers. 47 seconds left. And honestly, UWE do not look like they have a response. This looks like we could be seeing a 3-all game going to the 7 games. And this is what we came to see.
Absolutely fantastic play from Lancers. But again, as I was saying, I think you can summarise this series, like you were saying, by how well DMAC's been playing on defence. First few games, very jittery, missing a lot of touches. It summed up Lancers' performance, and now he seems to be getting more and more confident, as do the rest of his team. It's really showing on both sides of the ball.
It definitely films. He's going to look at rushing this. Gets a great block on Jordan. Sebadam needs to clear it, and he needs to get it out quickly. He's not going to do so quickly enough. DMAC, time counting down. A great block, and they've got 5 seconds still to score the goal, and they very much could do it. This was a great set of blocks coming through here from, I think it was Sebadam. He got the bump onto Tylacto, and that was so pivotal. 5 seconds left, a great kickoff could really make all the difference here. We know Film struggles a little bit against these guys on kickoff, but Jordan looking to slow it down, looking to get a block, doesn't do so. DMAC with the great block. Sebadam cannot get it on his roof, nobody to his left hand side. Jordan not following up quickly enough. Fortunately, Lanka's able to hold off just for long enough, and we're seeing a 3-game apiece. Final match to seal it all, and they have both played incredible.
Yeah, these last 2 games have been lights out from both teams. I think it's fair to say that up until that point, it was broadly one or the other, and a couple of games where you could argue that neither really showed up. But now they're both aware, and going into this game 7, they'll be even more aware that it's do or die for either team here.
Definitely, and UWE Sea Stags, they are going to be so disappointed with themselves at the moment. They came out of the gates so far ahead of Lankers, and Lankers have just caught them up. They fell at the 3rd hurdle. They needed to get that 4th and final match, and UWE Sea Stags just could not seal the deal. Lankers just came so strong as a response from being 3-0 down. They basically reset completely. They basically said, let's just start as if we're still 0-0, as if we just need to sweep these guys, and they're doing it. 3-all, unbelievable. Now, I don't think I could call who's going to win this. UWE, they still didn't look weak in that last game, but Lankers A just looked stronger.
Yeah, I think it's anyone's game at this point. I don't think UWE are necessarily, down the pan mentally. They have a chance. They have every chance in this game. And I think they'll be as much aware of that as will Lankers and as will everyone else. But all comes down to who can hold their nerve in this crucial 7.
It definitely, and a great 50 coming from DMAC, pushing it far onto the side, and this is where we see Lankers with such dangerous possession. Sebadam with a great clear, but a big miss coming through from him, and it leaves the midfield open to be passed to, and a bigger miss coming through from Jordan, but nobody expecting it on that Lankers team. Film's trying to get a pass down to centre, but nobody there, and this is where we could see a counter-attack coming through. Sebadam to the left-hand side. Unfortunately, nobody there following up, and this is huge. This game is so important to both of these guys. Obviously, whoever wins going through to the final, and a great little drop down from Tylacto, fortunately for him, able to clear it.
Sebadam's made this unnecessarily awkward for himself, but he scoops it well onto the backboard here. No one following out left for UWE. They're playing a tentative opening minute here, although this could be a chance. DMAC does very well.
And that was a great chance. It's so easy to slip the ball past your opponent just there. DMAC with a great defense, and he's going to need to come out again. He's final man back, and he does so. Sebadam looking to clear it onto the left-hand wall. He's going to try and get a block on Tylacto. Doesn't manage it. Hasn't got much boost, and the goal's open, and Tylacto has managed to put it in. He's put Lankers in the lead in the final game so far. Sebadam, not the greatest clear. We said it just as he did it. Tylacto coming in, just aiming for the goal. DMAC looking for bumps. Films looking for bumps. Everybody trying to take that UWE Sea Stags out of the defense, and it's 1-0 to the good for Lankers, and they could be winning here.
Yeah, I don't think the bumps were even necessary. No one on UWE looked even close to that ball. And that's the kind of goal that really you don't want to concede. You want to concede goals, well, you don't want to concede any goals, but you want to concede, if you are to concede, goals that are good for the other team to score. They've done well, they've had to beat you. That you just let them beat you. You've conceded unnecessarily there, and it might do UWE a lot of harm.
Definitely, and DMAC going up early there. Absolutely unnecessary to go up early. Sebadam again trying to get that clear off onto the sidewall, off to Jordan, and a great hit onto the backboard, but Films with an even better clear, and Incognito with the backflip, and Tylacto with the open goal, not able to get it. Sebadam just managing to clear out. Jordan again with a goal, trying to get that counter-attack, trying to go so quickly, and that was great play from both teams, but neither able to convert what are arguably some really great chances there. Unfortunately for Lankers, they hold on to the league, and Phil with a great bump up. Nobody left on defense for UWE Sea Stags. DMAC with a great block, and here we see the passes come in center. They do it so well, they do it so often. Coming through, big miss from Incognito, but fortunately for him, Sebadam there ready to clear.
Yeah, you can tell people are really getting nervous now. Everyone's just diving at the ball. Every time it comes near the defensive half, they're looking at clearing it long, not finding each other, just getting rid. And Incognito's going to have to do something well here.
And Films with the such important demo coming out. Sebadam needing to clear that wide, but he just made sure there was nothing coming through from this UWE Stags offense. And honestly, the bump coming through from Films onto DMAC is so unfortunate. He was just returning, but DMAC had every opportunity to make that 2-0, and it is so unfortunate. But nevertheless, the game is still going, and we're seeing some problems coming through now from the Lancers defense, but fortunately for them, nobody following from UWE again, and we've seen it time and time again already.
Yeah, it's a very cagey affair. This could end up just being a 1-goal game. Of course, that means on the side of UWE that they've got time. They only need one moment. They can play into the 0-second time if they really have to, although of course that wouldn't be ideal for anyone's heart.
Yeah, definitely. And Jordan coming in with the block on Tylacto. Sebadam again coming in. He needs to get the pass into centre. He does so. Films with a good clear. Both players rotating back round. Double commit from them. Won't really hurt them too much. Fortunately for them, ball was already going towards Lancers. And a great demo coming through. That demo is so important. And it's meant that Lancers have got all of the pressure. No boost from Sebadam is going to put them risky on defense. Incognito with a great clear there, but he's going to be forced to try and do it again, and he can't. Tylacto second goal, and this is all but sealed, and we could be seeing the reverse sweep coming through from Lancers onto UWE, and this is what nobody expected on the 7th game. I just can't believe it. I'm speechless.
I think it's yeah, so am I. It's heartbreaking is what it is, really, for anyone even remotely affiliated with UWE, and especially the players. It's just absolutely unbelievable that they will just feel so gutted to have lost this, because they came out looking like deserving winners for most of the first half of this series.
Yeah, they really did. And as we get to the 30-second remaining countdown, it doesn't look like UWE Sea Stags have any more in them, unfortunately. They really have run out of energy. Lancers are just sitting in defense now. They're not risking anything coming through. 15 seconds left, and they're going to try for a pinch. Tylacto going up high. Incognito needs to get this in early, and he doesn't. He's waiting too long. But a flick from Jordan comes through. It's not able to do it. 5 seconds left, and that is all but finished. And unbelievable. Final game is a reverse sweep to Lancers, and they played their hearts out. Unreal scenes. I cannot believe that Lancers have managed to come from looking like a shocking team in those first 2 games. They looked like some of the teams we saw get knocked out of NSE in the first few weeks. The ones that just gave up. That's what they looked like. They were playing so bad, and they came back and absolutely dominated UWE Sea Stags. They pulled them apart. Defensively, they picked up. Offensively, they picked up. Positional play, rotational play, mental play. Everything just went right for Lancers at the end. UWE Sea Stags, so unfortunate not to come away with that win. But unbelievable scenes. We're now going to be seeing later, I think it's between either the 17th or the 19th of April. I haven't decided on a date yet, but we're going to be seeing Lancers A going up against Portsmouth, who managed to beat out Trent, and it is unreal. A reverse sweep coming last season against Salford, a reverse sweep coming this season against UWE Sea Stags. Unbelievable.
It's an absolutely fantastic play from both sides at points, but Lancers, I think, came out deserving winners just for the fortitude it took to come back in 4 games there. And I think a lot of people going into this, you would be tempted to say the key players to watch would be Tylacto and Sebadam on each team. Obviously, RLCS caliber players played at the highest level before. But I think in those games, we were watching out for players like Jordan and DMAC. Jordan in the first few games, top of the leaderboard, consistently scoring all the goals, assisting the ones he wasn't really a part of, and just all around setting up the UWE offense from all angles. He quietened down in the second half of that series, just as DMAC managed to regain his confidence on defense after we'd seen a few backboard whiffs and key touches go a bit wrong. And as their fortunes swapped, so did their teams.
Yeah, it was just absolutely brilliant. And I think, like you say, we came in, we were expecting to see something happening. from Sebadam and Tylacto. But actually, for the most part, those final 2 games, DMAC absolutely stepped up unbelievably. He was not playing a great first and second game. He didn't play a great third game. In fact, he didn't even play a great game when they won their first game. However, those last 3, he was so pivotal to that team performing the way they did. And unfortunately for UWEC Stags, they just couldn't get the victory. But going forward, honestly, this Portsmouth and Lancers matchup, this is going to be something special. It's going to be absolutely incredible to see. And I honestly don't know. I don't know who will win. Obviously, we've got the third match playoff against UWEC Stags and Nottingham Trent. But the grand final, obviously, Portsmouth and Lancers, that's just going to be incredible. Who do you think is going to win?
Oof, I think that's just like tossing a coin. I mean, we've seen such variation in how these teams have played across the season. One week, I seem to remember Portsmouth flirting with relegation from the National League. But it's been a huge rollercoaster ride for both teams, particularly in this series. But if Lancers can take the second half of their form forward, I think they'll have every chance of taking down Portsmouth for the crown.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Portsmouth are unreal. They are so dangerous with almost every play they make. Psycho coming in. I think all the guy does is pass, as in, I don't mean that in a harsh way. What I mean is they're devastating passes. Every pass he makes is exactly where it needs to be, and he is one of the only players able to do that.
Yeah.
To get that pass off 100% of the time in exactly where he needs to, and it is insane, and it is so dangerous. And honestly, I think if Lancers play the way they played in their first few games, Psycho alone is going to pull them apart just from his pass plays. And the rest of his team, obviously, all capable of scoring. But my point is, Psycho with those passes coming through there, insane, unreal.
Yeah, and I think it's one thing is for certain is that Lancers do not get the chance to take 3 games to warm up against the Portsmouth Paladins, because by then they will have such a chokehold on the series that there is no coming back. They will have to come in very hot if they want to take any chance at winning, because Portsmouth did beat them in their league play match earlier this season, but it did go the distance, so we could be seeing another long series there.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Portsmouth and Lancaster, they both dropped out of EURC yesterday, and that's a good point. Both of them dropped out, and yet they're both in the grand finals of NSE. Now, obviously, we know that Tylacto was having numerous problems yesterday, especially with his controller. DMAC was not playing the way that we expect DMAC to play, period. He's always great, and then yesterday it was just a bit of a freak, really. None of the Lancaster team looked like themselves, but both Portsmouth and Lancaster getting beat is just unheard of, really. Especially in EURC, they were expected, they were predicted to beat both of the teams they played, and they just didn't. It's as simple as that. But nevertheless, let's talk about the Challenger bracket. So obviously the Challenger bracket finals are next week, as are the Northern playoffs and Southern playoffs. In the Challenger bracket, we've got Arctic Foxes going up against KPA, which is Kiel, and then the Rocketeers going up against University of Birmingham. And obviously we've actually seen Rocketeers on stream quite a few weeks ago now, and their passing plays matched some of the top tier teams in NSE. And it was a surprise to everybody that they managed to make it into the Nationals at one point. But they only lasted, I think it was a week in there. Nevertheless, their passing plays were unreal. They were great. They really were. And the run that they had...
down the Loughborough Lions on the way takes some doing.
And that's just it. To beat a team like that is incredible. But credit to Arctic Foxes... beating Sheffield Saints 4-0 and then managing to beat Brighton Babes. They were one of the favourites to go through that Challenger bracket. And they've just beat them. Okay, it was 4-3, still close, but managed to crush them. Kiel as well, 4-1 both teams. University of Birmingham as well, 4-1 in both teams. And it just feels like there were a lot of 4-1s in this, with the exception of Arctic Foxes only just managing to beat out Brighton Babes. But that's going to be an absolutely incredible place to see. And then in the Northern playoffs, we've got Scouse Sports versus Rocket Leeds. And then the Durham Defenders versus UEA. And I have to say it like that, obviously, with the emphasis on the A. Now, Durham Defenders, absolutely class. Obviously predicted...
got better as the season went on, I think it's fair to say.
I think they've got better and better every single NSE so far. I used to play for Durham Defenders, and I actually used to play with one of their players, HT Champs. He's great. absolutely incredible, but we didn't have the likes of Mordicia, Zouch. We didn't have the likes of yourself, and it was difficult, to say the least. We had 3 Champ 3s and we never really competed, and now Durham Defenders looking like one of the best teams in that northern playoffs at the moment, still struggling to compete with some of the really top tier teams, but nevertheless they're giving a challenge to a lot of the ones they beat. Now Scout Sports, again, we've seen those a few times, and they've played good, they've played great. They're obviously first seed to go through that northern playoffs, and that is completely understandable. Passing plays great, shooting great, accuracy sometimes questionable, but still a great team to watch. Rocket League's UEA, I can't say I've personally seen them. Rocket League's having quite a good run, beating out Salford 4-3. Salford were the 13th seed though to go through that. They were one of the lower ones, so maybe a little bit more difficult. Against Scout Spots, they're gonna struggle. UEA winning on a forfeit, I think, from Loughborough on one of the weeks and beating out Loughborough Clangers, and it was a fake by Lincoln. Now, Loughborough Ball Chasers, if they'd played them, arguably might have been able to beat them, but we won't really know. Salford, obviously... Oh, Salford, it's worth saying, actually, and Scenarius has just brought it to my attention that Salford actually played with Aaron going in, and obviously Aaron, unbelievable player there. For them to be able to beat out Aaron's team 4-3, Rocket Leagues actually might be able to produce something spectacular. I personally obviously haven't seen the match, so I can't say anything more of it. But that Northern League is going to be great. And then Southern playoffs. We've got Hertfordshire White, obviously first seed, absolutely dominated Warwick D's nuts. 4-0, sweat them, no problem. No you Oxford beating out Warwick Bubble Bottom Boys. I'm gonna re-say that. Warwick Bubble Bottom Boys, 4-2. So extremely good play there. Warwick beating out Portsmouth Pancakes 3-1 earlier on, and beating out Bristol Boys as well 3-2. So good little run there from No You, but a difficult game with Hertfordshire White. Southampton A's still in it as well, which is incredible. They're obviously second seed, Hertfordshire White first, so that means both in the Northern playoffs and the Southern, both the first and second seeds went through, whereas in the Challenger bracket, both the first and second seeds went out immediately into the 9th and 7th seed. So the Southern players and Northern players definitely correcting their predictions there, but Southampton A playing Bournemouth Storm. Bournemouth, great team coming through, beating Brunel Boomers 4-1, sweeping Bath Bombs. It's just going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And I think it's typifying this season. We predicted, well, we couldn't predict. This season was an unknown in many respects just because of how deep the pool of talent has become. And I think, that's typified by the fact that even in our Challenger bracket, none of the top 3 seeds have made it into the semi-finals. Same goes, some big numbers missing from, some small numbers missing, I should say, from Northern and Southern playoffs, particularly Southern. And, it's been shown that these teams, anyone can turn up on the day and anyone can make a fantastic run that perhaps you would not have seen coming.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, I think it's time to say thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I'm Killsync, and with me, Achinal2.
It's a very good approximation of my name. I think that's the best I've ever heard anyone say it.
See, I'm getting there. Yeah. I'm learning. But thank you so much. Please do join in next week, where we will be seeing those Northern, Southern, and Challenger brackets being played, and then between the 17th and the 19th of April we will be having the Championship brackets, Portsmouth versus Lancers and Nottingham Trent versus UWEC Stags. For now, we're signing off. Thank you very much and have a good rest of your evening.
The shadows